We've got audio. Let's see. Perfect. You can hear me very well. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone else that's watching and accompanying us. In this precious, cloudy, kind of fresh, but with a climate that's already spring-like, from California, the United States of North America, today being the first of Adar, the first month of the last month of the year 5993, the first of the last month, which is month 12, corresponding also to March 1st. We started together Adar and March, 1st March of the year 2025. Spring is on its way in very fastly, and we shall study yet another chapter of the Spirit of the Feasts, part 21. Hope you have had a formidable and blessed week, every last one of you, and if it wasn't that way, welcome to tribulation that we each have. We must have. We'll have tribulation for 10 days in this word aspect, different prisons, different ways that Yahweh has prepared individually for every person. But we are in the final moments of this creation, in the final moments of the creation of Yahweh, which we shall pass on to the seventh day. Some time is left, but we're still living the last days of the year 6000. So then, we are fascinated with what we are learning, comprehending, and all the rest, and today we shall amplify yet another aspect of the subject. Without any further ado, let us begin with a word of prayer. Our Father, creator of the earth, we give you thanks because you have placed us to comprehend these things which the rest of the human beings cannot see. They cannot see the kingdom of the Messiah. They cannot see how he's being formed, and they also cannot see the way in which they can still enter. We give you thanks because we clearly can read this letter, your writing that you have given us, and we clearly see the development of the events that will be given from here on out. All this we thank you for. We ask you that we may be that group of triumphant overcomers, victorious, because we wish to have the honor of being able to fulfill this prophecy and be the best to which you will inherit the earth. All this we thank you for in your precious name, YHWH. Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Walter Benjamin Fitchner, Argentina; Cesar Alberto Ortega Diaz, Venezuela; Rosa Angela Plata de Soto, Venezuela. Great big hug to each and every one of you on behalf of the entire Eternal Truth, and we hope that it be your last or one of your last birthdays under the government of Babylon. I also would like to greet as one last time, because they are MIA, because they have not voted, they have not added their signature to the document that's so important in Yom Kippur, the following people: Yan Josue Alvarenga Figueroa, El Salvador; Susana Piñeros, Colombia; Andreina Rodriguez, the Dominican Republic; Alberto Aceves, Mexico; and Conrad Chalas Ramirez, the Dominican Republic. Whether they signed or not, whether we know about them, about anything, for whatever reason, either way, we send you a great big hug. And a last greeting, they are people that have been a part and have listened to this so glorious a message, so then you will recognize them in the moment in which all these things take place. So then we greet you with lots of care. And if you're listening, then you can write to us and say, no, I'm still here. I just haven't noticed that there was a document or whatever you have to say. And we'll add you back onto the list. Well, yesterday, the moon came up. We went to the park, the best place to be able to see it, and there were so many clouds, completely covered. The heaven was with some specks of clouds in the sky that we thought that because of those things we could see it passing through one of a little hole in the clouds, and it wasn't so. We didn't see it until we saw that in the cell phone that it had already gone down. Because I have an entire app on the cell phone that lets me know where the moon is, what intensity it has, how many degrees it's got, and all the rest. And the moon had already gone down. It had already been set. And so then when we saw that it was impossible to see it, we came back. But many of you had already seen it. So then we moved on to the following month. Either way, I tell you, because I've been telling you, we're not going to stop going out to look for the moon because it's a beautiful aspect that's romantic that we like to do. But if nobody had seen it, let it be clear so that someday nobody gets surprised someday. If no one would have seen it, we would have passed onto the next month either way, because we're not being based from here on out, not years ago, but from here on out. We comprehend that the possibility of seeing it or not does not mean anything to us, because whether we see it or not, it is circumstantial whether there are clouds or not, but the moon is there. Why? Because in the time of ancient times, there wasn't the technology which we dispose of now that measures things that are a lot more precise. And I know that the moon had become new on the day before, which had gone from the illumination part of one side, passed through what we know, how it passes on to the other side, which is from the other side. Astronomically, it had already passed on to the new moon on Thursday around 2 a.m., something like that. So then on Friday, it had to be visible already, and it was. There are pictures from you. It was. So then, but either way, if we have not seen it, if those that took a picture or were able to see it had not seen it, it means that we have to change our calendar and how we celebrate the feasts and all the rest, because of a circumstance that there's a cloud covering an object that we know it's there. No, that is over. Let that be left for the ancient times that they have to be watching at. That's over. Absolutely. So then, every calendar that I do and make, I use very different software and systems and apps, specific ones, that tell me the latitude, the height, the time, the age, visibility. All those things are taken into account. When I make the map, when I make the calendar, I do not make a mistake, because I base it already in things that are pre-established, provable, and mathematically proven. So it's not a calculation, it is an algorithm, kind of like what the Jews did 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago, but a real one. When I say that the moon will be seen, the moon will be seen. Whether it's visible or not, it doesn't matter. It'll be seen. It'll be visible. It'll be there. I shoot for at least 1.2% visibility. I know that if the moon had 1 or less than 1, even if it's there, it's impossible to see it with the human eye. So then I'll respect that for now. Actually, the moon is there. It already passed that old moon to the new moon stage. It's there. The human eye cannot see it even if they have the skies completely clear, less than 1%. It is almost virtually impossible to see it. It could be that in some chance where there is no clouds or contamination or powder in the sky, and there's no lights that illuminate the sky by turning off the little light that you can see in the sky, that you get some conditions that are very, very specific, that we can see it with less than 1%, but the moon is there. Whether we see it or not, it is there. So then, I like to go out and see it because to practice that at least, we've been doing it for years, and it's a cultural part of ours. But I'm going to take the crucial importance away from it, that if we don't see it, we will not advance onto the next calendar. That will no longer happen. In other words, the calendar will respect it because actually the moon is there, not because I made it up just to make the calendar. It's there. So then, either way, we would have advanced. I want to make that clarification because it was already decided that if nobody were to see it, that we were going to advance either way into the next month of Adar. So then, welcome to the month of Adar, and let it be a month that is very much blessed for every one of us. We are saying goodbye to every last day that goes by in the year 5993 to never again see it. At least in our lives, we could review it, but not to live it. We've already did, and we're living the last days of the month of Adar of the year 5993. And we shall pass on to the year 5904 in a very little few days, exactly 29 more days. So then, many thanks to those of you that took pictures, those that let us know. We'll continue to look for it because it's beautiful to look for it. It's beautiful to publish the pictures of something that we know that is there. Very well. This year, there is no double month. There is no leap month or leap year, however you want to mention it, because the equinox takes place on March 20th, which will be Adar 20th. March and Adar are hand in hand this year, and the equinox takes place. The equinox for us of spring, and those for the south hemisphere, the equinox of autumn, but ours is that of spring. And the moon is visible at 63%. In other words, the moon will be pretty much practically full, already on its way out, but full. But this year, we won't add another month. There's no Adar the 2nd. No, there isn't. So then, for that reason, because when the equinox takes place, if the moon is very much visible, we pass on to another one without any adding of the month to the next year. Very well. I'd like to remind you that all of you that are going through a certain tribulation and are in a physical prison due to all the things that this life brings us, life itself, also the house where you live in, the work that you work in, the situation in which you are in, your parents, your surroundings, and all the rest, produces all kinds of conflicts in our lives. We all suffer it. So then we have at least free help that can help you. Angelina can help you, Angelina's consult, to be able to solve or treat, to solve the conflicts. And we're here trying to experience this life. And if tools are given us to solve things, that is what we should do. Many people have lived, have suffered, and have died without those tools, those adequate tools to solve the problems. How many people would have wished to have had the tools that we dispose of? Those tools is to understand the mechanics of how our body works, what causes it for our organs to grow or decrease or to stop working or to function incorrectly. They are products of conflicts that we see in different colors, different forms. Those conflicts, we don't speak of, we keep them, we live them, we suffer them, quote unquote. But not only do we suffer them mentally, like I have to accept it, I have to cope with it, deal with it, but they have an effect in an immediate way in our organs. So then what we see, what we feel, what we live is transferred over to our organism. It is a way that's pretty complex of how we ourselves are the ones which take our physical functions out of regulation. We create problems that are emotional, and the body translates that to the physical plane. We have three elements: an area that is the mental area, that, let's say, it's the psyche, the spiritual, the psyche, brain, which is the computer, the basic computer, elemental computer, and general computer that works along with the heart, and the organs. The three things always are impacted at the same time. There's no such thing as, no, I have a problem that's spiritual, let's say a spiritual one or mental, and the other two parts of the brain and of the organ are not affected. No, it's all affected. Once we understand that rule, we understand everything. It is the tool that is the most marvelous thing. It's precarious for now, because to tell you the truth, there are things that we don't understand, but we can get a glimpse of trying to understand. But when we understand that we are an entity that is divided in psyche, brain, organ, and we understand that when there is an emotional impact, there will be a physical impact. And in a specific place of our body, which will be an organ, that organ will act differently. Will grow, will decrease, or will stop functioning, or will overfunction. Those are the things that take place. And when we start to see the effects in our organ, people generally think, oh, I must have inherited that, I ate something, what a bad luck, something gave me that. None of that has anything to do with it. It's the effect of your problem that you have been affected mentally, that translates over to the exterior space and physical of our body. That is the way it is, as in heaven, is also on earth. Whatever affects in heaven, which is a representation in this case of the mind, heaven is the most elevated place. The earth will also be affected, and what you untie in heaven, I will untie it on earth. That is the service that we offer freely to all those that have comprehended my words, that there is a solution, and you have to unbind things in heaven so that they are unbound on earth. There is no way of unbinding things on earth without unbinding them in heaven first. You can take things that can aid you in pain and alleviate certain things, and also get surgery and all the rest. But as long as you don't unbind the things in heaven, the things are still bound. And if you do not unbind that, something else will get bound. And until you don't unbind it here, you will not unbind it in your organs. It's very simple. I've just explained Germanic medicine to you in a way that is very simple to understand. That is how our body works. And we've got that free service that if you need it, that's why we are here for. And that is why we are going to unbind all the problems that this humanity has ever had. Every last problem that this humanity has ever suffered. It is a whole bunch of problems, and we have to teach to unbind every single one out of all the billions of people that have ever existed in this planet. Now they're in a period of wait. The period of wait. Even if they are resurrected, they need to be unbound, demons. And in a magnificent illustration of the Messiah that no one comprehends, except for us, when Yahweh, in the way prefiguring the Messiah, he would meet up with a demon-possessed person that had an individual bound, he would unbind the demon-possessed person. Could be 1,000 or 1. That is a figure that is magnificent of what I've just talked about. Every single person is possessed by demons. The demons are those binds that enslave us, that show up in our body. What is needed is the Messiah to help to unbind those knots that have us bound, those demons that possess the people. So then, who understands these things? Absolutely no one. You have to understand every single word that I've just said. The rest of the Christians read that and they say, oh, he had a demon. It was a fallen angel that had entered into his body and had him possessed. No. The whole entire human race is possessed. The demons in this case are conflicts that bring us down, that trap us. It's that transformator that consumes the best of you. And unless they help you to unbind those things, it turns you off until it cuts off your whole entire energy. So then those of you that need help, you can call Angelina. The description is below this video. Before starting today's subject, I'd like to make very clear that what I'm about to say, I'm going to give it a very least of importance so that you don't say, Christian has this imagination, such a creativity, he applies everything. No, let's not say stupid shit. I apply what I have to apply. I am creative in seeing and trying to see what no one sees, try to understand what no one understands. So then what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give it, I don't know, a 1% of the prophetic message per se. In other words, nothing. It's like a detail that to me makes me happy, makes me understand things, and makes me have fun. If we're not here to have fun, then actually, why do we exist even? We have to see things from every point of view, but having fun is something that helps you heal. Like the scripture says, like the wise man said, that laughter heals the bones, and laughter is a great medicine that's free to help you to unbind demons. Way too many demons. So then sometimes I make things a lot more fun, even though they might feel like they're never heard of before. I'm going to talk to you about the 1% of the possibility so that you don't say, no, Christian says what he says, bases things in the stupidity. I can't believe it. No. Doesn't matter what you think. It makes me happy, and I'll communicate it with you. I didn't say anything, nor did I open my mouth in my house to not jinx it. You know that what you say you created, or the great possibility is there that this is created. You know what, you believe and you create, but I half believed it, even at least for myself. It can kind of be created, and that no, I didn't want to say anything because what you say, you create also, so I didn't say anything. But I had these heartbeats in my mind that Boca, the athletic club, Boca Juniors, the greatest club of all times in football history. That is the way I see it, and I could care less what anybody else thinks, because I see things that way. Because if this is the eternal truth, if this is what Yahweh chooses, then of course, then our personal likes are important, at least for me. And maybe I've helped to transfer it to you something of a passion you didn't have, but maybe I've transferred it to you, a passion, so that you can caress in something what I feel. Just imagine the insanity that I've always had for Boca Juniors, that when I was a contractor and I had a company, a painting company, all my tools, every last one of them, so that there's no confusion with those of my employees or some owner that said, this is mine, to the last screwdriver, I would paint it with spray paint, blue and yellow. I still use my tools from before, and I look at them and say, wow, blue and yellow, everything, every screwdriver, every spatula, every machine, blue and yellow, that was my brand. It's not that I became a fan now, no, I was an extreme, huge fan of Boca Juniors. And Boca Juniors, when maybe you don't understand this because you haven't lived since your childhood what football is, but it becomes a part of your personality, of your being. of your persona. And it's a way of living. It affects your life. It's not just that you're a fan. Because I see the Americans here that they're fans about the Laker fans, and they buy their little caps, they buy their jerseys. That's fine. They have a part in their heart. They're minuscule. But when you love something, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, okay? I take that out, whether it's right or wrong. It's the way you were brought up, especially in Argentina. And you become a fan of a club, your entire life will gyrate around that club. That club will make you cry, laugh, it'll make you be in a bad mood, it will make you expect its love so great in your life that your life starts to get tinted with the colors of your club. You would wish that your skin would be of the color of your club. When you get to such a fan level, high level, you would wish that your ashes would be placed as the highest honor in the field of the club. I tell you the level of insanity that I want to communicate to you so that you can feel. So then, the club affects your life to such a point that it can make you very happy, very upset, very joyful, very would not even want to go out because people are going to start attacking you and laughing at you. Even people that don't know you, that they know that you're of that club, they're going to be mocking you if you lost or you tied, or that if you won because of the referee or whatever. It's all it, that is what is. Everyone breathes it, knowing that Yahweh, that he was going to raise a group, and in the way that he was going to form it, precisely his main vocalizer of this was going to have that type of nature inclined towards something. I believe personally that he can play, Yahweh can play, because he plays with everything. Also with certain results, so as to show or to torture. Let's start with that. So then, what took place this week, that we won before Alianza Lima, a club that's a small Peru club, might be huge over there, but we see them as small. Next to Boca Juniors, they have 6 Libertadores Cups. What has Alianza Lima ever won in their life? Nothing. But of course, they had Pipo Grosito, an ex-River Argentinian player with lots of experience in the field, lots of soccer. Of course, he came and he played it and he spoke what he needed to say to get the people to put pressure on the arbiters. It's that kind of game, that folklore, that whole ambient that if you're a soccer fan, you feel it, you live it, and you suffer it. He achieved to get Boca out of the international competition. I don't know why. I explained this just so that you understand the context. I don't know why. But the championship, the international championship for an Argentinian club are a lot more important than the cups at a national level. At a national level, we've got 3 cups. We have the Liga Cup, another Liga that it's a form of just a cup. So then we've got the Argentinian Cup, that of the league, and then we've got the other championship, which is called the, well, it's 3. I can't remember the name of the third. Argentinian Cup, the Liga Cup, the Liga, and the Argentinian Cup. Half of it is a year, is the Liga Cup. The other half is what they play is the Cup. The Cup of the Liga and the Cup of the Liga, 2 different formats, but it's one championship. Before, it used to be called opening and closure. And there's another cup apart from that, in which the first division clubs compete with clubs that are ascending. They're from the second and third division. A championship that they make, which I love. It's called the Argentinian Cup, and they all play against each other. Those that have certain points, they play in different points of the country. Nobody plays at home. They go to a neutral field. It could be a second, third division team. The Argentinian Cup. So both the Argentinian Cup and the league, the Liga, obviously they've got their validity. That also classifies you for the Libertadores Cup or, in defect, to the South American Cup. But just to help you understand, Riquelme, before being president of Boca, he said, for me, he said something like that, 1,000 championship, he said, well, let's suppose, I can't remember exactly, not even 10 local championships are equal to one Libertadores Cup. So then for the mind of us from Boca, I'm not speaking about other clubs. Other small clubs don't even aspire to play in the Libertadores, and if they play it for some chance that they were in a championship that we're doing good, they don't think that they'll win it, but it's very difficult to win it. That championship is the most brutal one in all of America, the Libertadores Cup. That is why the phrase that they say, the eternal glory, he that achieves it, the eternal glory, you're champion of the Libertadores. Wow. Riquelme said not even 10 local championships would be worth one Libertadores Cup, but of course. So then, the Libertadores Cup is as if to say that you're reaching heaven, soccerly speaking, for us, to get to heaven. The South American Cup, well, you see it way too devalued. It's like, well, since I couldn't go into Libertadores, then let's play the South American. It's a cup, that's fine. It's almost non-existent because it's a second category cup. It's like in the first category or the second category. There was a time in which you could compete in both cups at the same time. So then you say, well, that's fine, two different cups, but not in this one. You play the South American, it is because you did not get not even the points or the quality to enter into the Libertadores. So then you compete in one, like it's kind of like saying it's like a consolation prize. Play the South American boys, and if you don't have anything, you're a complete donkey. First category or just local. Don't ever aspire to play any international. That's not for you. Well, as you already know, Boca has 6 Copa Libertadores and 3 championships that are worldwide that we call the Libertadores champion against the champion of the Champions League in Europe. The Champions League in Europe, when they are champion, 1 year they play against the champion of the Libertadores Cup for 1 game. In that game, whoever wins, they call him the worldwide champion. So then Boca has 3 worldwide cups like that. We've beaten Real Madrid and Milan. I can't remember what other one we won. It wasn't in my time, but I know. I just can't remember. I'm not. My memory is not so brutally precise. So then, what took place this Tuesday? Whoever watched the game is a lot worse than what you think. To lose. We haven't been playing in the Libertadores last year. 2024 we did not qualify for the Libertadores. That already is an absolute shame for Boca. Maybe not other teams, but for Boca, Boca has to enter to every Libertadores, whether we win or lose. We have to enter. To not enter is to say they're coming down to a different category. You have to always enter into the Libertadores. Well, in 2024 we did not enter because we played a horrible local championship, and we got, as you already know, a fatidical December in 2023 in which we lost. We lost the final. You'll remember it because we all watched it. That we interpreted, it's not the time of the 7th one. We give it to the Fluminense. It was the Fluminense. The Fluminense can shove it. And so we lost that 7th cup. The following years we did not play the Libertadores. This year we qualified, but for a pre-Libertadores stage that we could call Libertadores, but it's not. It is kind of like getting back in. No, they said it's Libertadores phase 2, phase 3. It's not Libertadores. Libertadores, when you enter into the group, you enter into the group. The Conmebol, they try to raise the volume of them. They said it's Copa Libertadores phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And when they pass phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, then you enter into phase 4, which is the Copa Libertadores per se, which, let's say, it's the cup that we've always known, Copa Libertadores. When you say one enters, and then they cast lots, there are 4 groups per teams per group. That is what we call Libertadores. Everything below that, it's a qualification that's previous to the Libertadores Cup. Okay. But now they call it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Copa Libertadores. But they want to make you believe that we're playing the Libertadores Cup. I tell you, like I've been saying from such time, Boca hasn't played any Libertadores Cup, but a repechage, which is from the losers brackets to be able to compete for a place in the final. And in 2024, the few points that we made there were enough to go enter into that repechage. Not even to enter directly into the Copa Libertadores, just for the repechage. We had to play against 2 teams to pass one that was the worst, the Alianza Lima, to be able to access into their phase and win that one, to be able to access into that one, then enter into the Cup of Libertadores. Boca Juniors fell off so bad that at least we have the chance of entering into phase 2 of Copa Libertadores, that what they call Copa Libertadores for me. It is not, it is a repechage, but we had to win that game against Alianza Lima from Peru. If we were to win against them and pass, we would enter into the phase that they call phase 3. In phase 3, if we would lose against, I think it was some Chilean team, I can't remember, it doesn't matter. A team that I've never heard of. Those little teams, if we were pass on Tuesday and play the following team, if we were to lose that game, which is 2 games, 180 minutes each, 1 in each field, if we were to lose that, then we would go into the South American Cup as a consolation prize. Wow, boys, you didn't enter Libertadores, well, enter into the South American one. But if we lost on Tuesday, we would stay all of 2025 without any exterior cup, without any international cup, without Libertadores, and without a consolation prize of the South American. And that is a complete torture. It is to live the entire year and to remember what happened. That was going to be a key team to be embittered all year. No matter if we were a champion, doesn't matter, does not raise your spirits to be a champion of Argentina. If you didn't enter into the Libertadores, and you're going to see the chickens playing Racing in Libertadores, and for them to always tell you, hey boys, what happened? You're going to keep trying, right, next year? Let's see if you make a couple more points and you enter, because you're a very 4th-class team. So then not even, it compensates anything to be a championship. Now in the Argentinian Cup, they can shove it up where the sun don't shine. There's no compensation, because we are already the team that hasn't won any Argentinian Cups, national cups. That's fine to win, to be a champion, that's all fine. One more cup, we want the Libertadores. That's why we have the song, we want the Libertadores. That or nothing. Riquelme entered with that premise into the club, saying, no, I've won it, right? Of course, Riquelme won it many times. So then he says, I come to be a president of the club, and the club has nothing else to do that matters than to win the Libertadores. And now the guy doesn't say anything. In my opinion, in the moment in which we lost the game in penalty shots the other day, the president of the club should have stepped down and said to Fernando Gago, Fernando, many thanks. You've tried, but you placed us in an embarrassment. You weren't able to surpass this, so then today you are no longer a coach of Boca. I'll pay you whatever millions. Here you go, take them. I don't want you to set a foot in here ever again, as long as I'm a president. Never again. You couldn't do it. There's no second chances. You didn't do it. You couldn't cut it. That's it. It's over. Couldn't cut it. There's no second chance. When all the fans of Boca are hurt and they see, they're going to see play the other teams play, and then we have an imbecile on the field leading, and if they win, no, here you don't compensate if a team wins in a national team. It does not compensate. The pain is a lot greater than to be champion. Now, of all the Argentine championships, now I'll change all those 3 championships to be competing in the Libertadores. I tell it to you like that. Don't even mention it. Whoever says anything the contrary, because they're a small team that they know that they haven't enough to play in an international cup. It's not enough, but we want the 7th one. We don't want anything else. We want the 7th Libertadores. That's what we want. Nothing else. Nothing else. It's as if Argentina would be a champion in a Golden Cup that they invite them in a South American Cup over there, and never to be championship of the world. What good is it to be a champion in stupidity if we're not champion of the world? It's no good. I communicate to you what a fan of Boca thinks. Not a newspaper, no, a fan. And since you're a Boca fans, since you don't know that, I pour upon you what you have to put into your interior, what you must feel, the anger that one feels to have lost. I knew at the intuition that we were going to lose. I knew. Not because of Gago, not because of the team, not because of Cavani, who missed a goal that is unexplainable, unfathomable, below, without any defender or goalie had even time to he could even sit down on the floor and did it with his ass backwards. There was only a center. The play was there in the last minute of, he just had to push it in. And he hits with the right. It bounces a little bit on the right, hits on his left, and he kicks it out. It's incredible. Do I blame Cavani? No, I blame Yahweh, because for me, Yahweh is the one that moved his ball. Oh, you're going to say, now it's gotten stupid, or he's too creative. No, I'm not being creative anything. That's what I think. Yahweh said, this game you will not win because you will not compete. You will not compete or win the Libertadores because it's not time. It is not your time. Because I take Boca as a part of my being. So then Yahweh says, okay, since we've got those inclinations in your nature, and I'm forming you, I'm going to show you. And I knew it. I mean, I knew this. That's why I told you last Shabbat. Nothing will happen this year. I knew it. But I didn't dare to say that Boca's going to lose and we're going to be one more year embittered. I knew it. I knew it in my interior. Boca will lose because it's not our year. We have to continue to wait. And Boca, since you like that, I'll add you a little bit more suffering to that. I'll add it. I said 10 years of pain. It's 10 years. With Boca, I'll show you. When River beat them in the final of the Libertadores in Madrid in the year 2018, precisely when this whole countdown of 10 years starts. Is it by chance? I don't see it by chance. You can take it like 1% of everything that I speak about the prophecy. Then the year 2018, the final of the Copa Libertadores, which was painted in a color, there were problems in that whole cup. When Boca had to play, they would get into the field of River. The River fans, they threw stones, and they broke the microphone, and they hurt some Boca players, and they suspended the game. They had to play it in the River field with Boca that was surpassing River. They suspended that game, and then later, they didn't want to play it. Boca accepted to play it in Madrid. Mistake, it doesn't matter, but Yahweh is put. I would not have accepted as a person. Boca said, you know what, I'm not going to play that game. Did he give me the points now, and I'm a champion or nothing? Or nothing. Just like that. If your misplaced fanhood of yours is wrong, we have already paid years prior. I have to tell you a lot of story, but I educate you. Some years prior, Boca and River were playing in the Boca field. The pepper gas story shows up. You can Google it. You can look up Boca and pepper gas, and you'll see the whole story of some guy called the Panadero that he was a Boca fan, and some even doubt that in the second time, I was watching live many years ago. Second time, in the tunnel where the river players are coming out, they throw pepper glass that the police uses right there. And the river players, when they go out into the field, got intoxicated. All their eyes were crying. So then there was a huge chaos right there in that game, a huge chaos. And what happened? The game was suspended because the river players were crying because of the pepper gas. Just imagine that situation. You got river going out to play through the tunnels that you inflate, and there's a fan from the back, and he makes a hole in the tunnel right there. And he puts pepper glass on the river players right there, and they were all crying out of their vomiting. Just imagine the situation. What happened? The game was suspended. What happened? Boca lost the points, and River won. Oh, that's great. If that's the way it is, then why is it that Boca didn't grab the points from the final if a similar situation happened? We're coming, the omnibus, or whatever you want to call it, the team bus is coming into the Monumental Stadium, into the tuna can, as they call it, the chicken sign, and then they can't play, and they don't give them the points because the fans attack them, and they say, we're going to play in a neutral place, and the stupid president from Boca accepts that. So then the final, that Boca was already winning already because it was tied or something. I can't remember right now because they had already played one game. Right in that moment, it was two finals, which I like it a lot more like that. One in the field of one team and another in the field of the other team. Now the fight is only one sole game. Before it was two games. Field in the local and then as a visitor. And whoever scored more, it was more. That's the way it should be played. But the stupid idiot of the president of the CONMEBOL that we have, which is named Dominguez, he copied the Europeans, making a final just one game. I don't like that. It has never been like that. It should have been the final against the Fluminense of last time. We should have one game in Fluminense and one game in the Bombonera. The one who scores more wins. You understand what I'm saying? That's how we used to play in the whole Copa Libertadores. That's how the final is only one game. The final is only one game. It's a stupid idiot, that dog shit Paraguayan by the name of Dominguez that is no good. That guy said only one final game. Oh, dog shit guy. What a piece of shit. Just like Yahweh does everything to make me upset. So then that final that should have never been played, it was the points of Boca, and that's it. So if Boca would just say, no, you ruined my players. Now you take the points from River. That's it. It didn't happen. They're not going to win because they attacked my players. That's the way it was last time, but these stupid imbeciles, leaders, they accepted to play the game in a neutral field in Europe. I mean, it's completely crazy to play the final of the best championship of America, to play it to Spain, out of all places. What? I mean, it's just insane. I can't understand it. The fucking directors of Boca Juniors, I can't understand it. It's just like that. I cannot understand it, how they ever accepted, yeah, let's go play in Madrid. What the fuck do the Gallegos have anything to do with, what did the Argentinian game have anything to do with Spain? Nothing to do. What do the people have anything to do? Nothing. Neutral. A neutral place, dog shit chickens, and the Boca president dog shit play. And we played a final out of the best and most glorious championship was played in Europe. Tell me, what does one thing have to do with another? The worst thing of the world is that Boca lost. And up until today, they say Boca died in Madrid. That is what these chickens like to play. Because in our faces, Boca, I'm saying River, turned the Olympic, and River was champion of the Libertadores Cup. When Boca was going to win easily, and if they would have just battled for the points, they would have won it already. But as it turns out, that it was the year 2018. It was by what chance? It's the year in which we learned the marvelous medicine that we have talked already in the year in which the purification begins. So then it's also the year where I said you will have 10 days of tribulation. And what about tribulation can he give us to the Boca fans of our rival, our greatest, per se, I don't want to say, our rival, our enemies, our sport enemies. They beat us, they laugh at us, they celebrate that date. They say that Boca died, and they say that what they did could not be surpassed. The 10 years of tribulation begins, and Boca has had a tribulation because they consider it the greatest, the most painful defeat that Boca has ever lost in history. That is considerably true. So then take those details into notation. It's the greatest, the most painful defeat in history is what they passed through there. Precisely, it's when I say it's when the 10 years of tribulation begins. And from then on out, Boca has never won anything else. They've won national championships that for us are not really important. We always win them. We're the ones that has ever won the most. They don't. It doesn't matter how many local championships we win. It doesn't make us happy. It's just crumbs. We have the tribulation. That's why we say we want the Libertadores. We dream with the seventh one, just like we dream with the seventh millennium. There are lots of things that we say. I mean, this guy has such a creative imagination, but things fit in. It's not that they fit in. We have 6,000 years. We're from Boca. We're sad. Satan beat us. You know, there's River, the rival. You know, there's Yahweh or whatever. The one they beat us and put us into tribulation, and then we didn't win anything, and we live in tribulation. And this year really slapped us in the face. Yahweh did, because Yahweh took the ball to Cavani and he couldn't score. I'm sure someday I'll see it. Because just become famous and go to sleep. You know that phrase? Exactly. Yahweh says, I do evil, I will do evil, I torture you, I punish you like your worst enemy. So his fame precedes him, and I say it was Yahweh who took the ball away from Cavani. It was Yahweh, absolutely Yahweh. When he had the head, hit it with the head, it hit in the goalpost, it was Yahweh. It was Yahweh. It was not just so asked because Yahweh was helping them out. And Yahweh says, no scoring here. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. And he's telling us, I'll send you a message, boys. This is not your year. Continue to suffer. Continue to suffer. Because the Boca, let's suppose the Boca of Yahweh are we. We're the Boca of Yahweh, the mouth of Yahweh. It's who communicates the messages of Yahweh into the world, and the one that will communicate the message of Yahweh, which is we, into the world with the desires of Yahweh. It is us, the Son, the one that speaks. The Davar, the Logos. We are it. So then that Club Atletico Boca Juniors even has that similitude with the Boca of Yahweh, the mouth of Yahweh. We're the mouth of Yahweh. And the Boca of Yahweh is shut up in silence. They're going to have to eat it up, muted, because they cannot play, and they will see the other ones playing. It is not our moment. It hasn't been 2 years ago when we had to have won and beat that dog shit Brazilian team, and we didn't do it, and it hurt us. We didn't understand it. Later, we tried to understand it, and now Yahweh told us clearly, and I knew it. The worst thing is that I knew it, and I didn't want to open my mouth. Inexplainably, they're not going to pass. That fourth-class team will beat them, because I'm giving you the message that you stay here suffering. It is not your time. That's the way I see it. You can grab all of today's subject, throw it into the trash, and continue on with the biblical part that I'm going to continue with. But that's the way I see it. And since I'm already into this, I'll make my predictions. When will we win the next Libertadores, the seventh one? Here's my prediction. This could be very off. Very well off. Let me clarify it. But I'll say it. I'll say it. In my point of view, maybe, are you boring? Maybe you learned a little bit of football, right? A little bit of Boquinian passion is what I've transmitted to you. When do I think that it would be logical for Boca to be a champion? Not to compete in the Libertadores. No, we're completely out. It made us very, very bitter. Looking from the outside, at least if we compete and we lose, okay, that's fine. But 4 games, we have to pass from the group, and well, that's fine if you compete at least. But now we don't even compete. It's more painful. It's like a slap in the face. When do I say that Boca will win the cup? I say that it'll be won in the year 2027, not 2028. That would be too late. 2027. By giving us the message that our time is up, that the time of the Boca has arrived. The Boca of Yahweh, not that Boca which is just a symbol, it's just a symbol of the Boca of Yahweh, the mouth of Yahweh. So then, in my imagination, my romantic imagination, we're gonna receive that message by saying Boca has been a champion in the year 2027. This is our year. This is our year. 2028. If Boca is a champion the following year, let's suppose that this year we're able to enter into the Copa Libertadores, and in the year 2025 we play and we win. I might say that, well, it would already be fulfilled. In 2026, something has to happen. Something has to take place. Because for me, from what I see in the scripture, Pesach is the moment of the glorification of the temple, is when the Son receives power. Pesach. So then, if Boca wins it in the year 2027, with this final in November, December, we will know exactly that during Pesach is what our championship comes, of which will be champions. You understand what I'm saying? That is my thought. I'm going to say it like that. It might be something stupid, but it is my thought, and that is how I have fun with these things. Makes me live the moment, makes me feel, because I am a Boca fan by the soul. Makes me feel, makes me get emotions, and Yahweh plays with my emotions. Makes me feel through my emotions, whether it's Boca or whatever thing. Whatever thing, he speaks to us through everything. Everything speaks to us through everything. That's the way I see it, at least. So then I believe that Boca will not be a champion until 2027. If it's before that, then I think this is going to be accelerated. What could happen? Which could happen. It could happen. But I don't think so. So then we have to eat it up and deal with it, to see the chickens and the rest competing and maybe even winning, and we're looking from the outside to laugh at us. That's the way it'll happen. It has to happen that way. Like the whole world can laugh if they listen to us, to say these guys are crazy. Absolutely, you can laugh now, but later the one that are going to laugh are we. The one that laughs last laughs better. That is what happened with Boca. Now, Gago can never be a coach ever again. Out with Gago. And also, I would clean up. I would clean house also. That would be for something, no matter who was coach. No matter if I had been coach. Aside from the fact that I consider myself to be the best coach, but taking that out, if I had been the coach, Boca would lose. Yahweh says, what did I tell you? Look at Jonas. He tried to escape. See what happened? You think that here it was about skill? No. If I weren't to intervene, just imagine, if I weren't to intervene, Boca would win 4-0 to that little Peruvian team. I intervened to make you suffer and to tell you, don't get upset, boy. Just don't get upset. To tell you that it's not your moment. It is not your time to be champions. Continue to wait. Continue in prison. You have to still wait for it. It's not the time yet, so then I'll let you know with this. Very well. For some of you might be fun, others not so much, but that's the way it is. Shemah Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one. And also let me translate it this way. Here LVE, Boca lost because of Yahweh. A transliteration. John 8:31 through 32. Then said the Messiah unto the Jews that had believed on him, if ye were to remain in my word, then ye shall truly be my disciples, and ye will know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth makes us free. How beautiful is liberty? The liberty. That is what I try for you to experience, liberty of your own enclosures, of your own beliefs, liberty of the beliefs that you used to have in the religions, the liberty of expression, the liberty of you is the most valuable thing that I could teach for you to enjoy. Liberty. Later, tell me if you like the whole history that I showed you about Boca. About what happened in Madrid 2018. What if Boca comes out a champion in 2027? Wow, if it were so, how are we going to jump for joy? It says that they will jump like calves, like the calves led out to pasture. You see how in Malachi it says that, right? Notice how the fans jump. They jump like calves. In the bombonera, it moves like that. It rumbles. That's how we're going to be jumping if we see Boca a champion in the Libertadores. But not because Boca has been a champion, because we have a hidden meaning that no one will have. We'll be celebrating for Boca 10% because we're posteros, but the 90% is because our year has arrived. So then I tell you, there we have, because Yahweh uses anything as a watch. Israel that doesn't exist, doesn't have anything to do, uses them as a prophetic watch. A fig tree is a prophetic watch. Didn't he grab a poor fig tree and burned it, dried it up, and he said, hey, look at the fig tree. Just anything. Well, when I see Boca be the champions of the Libertadores, I know the time of the Messiah has arrived immediately. At least that's the way I see it. Malachi 2:17. And under lots of feeling, either false or true, but it is here in this text now, because it hurts to the soul that Boca has not passed on to the next. I cannot surpass it. I can't surpass it. I can't get over it. It hurts my soul. Knowing that also we have to wait. Ye have wearied Yahweh with your words. And you say, and what have we wearied him? And that you say that whomever doeth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he delighteth, or else, where is the Elohim of justice? I apply all this to the game. Here is the Elohim of justice. Yahweh is not the Elohim of justice. He is way above the Elohim of justice. He's the creator, superior to everything, superior to an Elohim of justice, and it is not his task of giving justice. His task is to create. And also, he creates the Elohim of justice. He also creates the Messiah, and also anoints the Messiah, and also gives that property as an inheritance. And he does whatever he wants. He does other lands, does whatever he wants. He's a lot greater, the creator is, than what sometimes we subject him to. As if he comes to direct us, he's going to be our God. And Yahweh says, yes, and now I'm going to be all eternity with you. His power to create 500,000 worlds like you, but I'm going to stay with you because you make me happy. No. Yahweh says, are you happy? It took me 6,000 years. Now I'm going to make another one. I have a different plan. I'll tell you later. Maybe it tells only some, whatever plan he's got for the next project. But it's a creator, the guy is. The guy's a creator. He doesn't come to live forever with his creation. No, mind you. But someday I'll get bored. Let's suppose that I want to live with you. One day, two days pass, 5,000 years, and then he says, yeah, it's all beautiful here, to be here with you, very beautiful, you have fun and all, it's all fun and everything, but I have other needs. Yahweh says, do you know the power that I have? And we're going to say, yes, we do. But you know the power that I have to create out of nothing. And he says, you know what? I'll leave you a little bit and I'll go create something. Let's see how it turns out. I have different plans. I've been thinking. I want to do different things. I want to have different type of beings. I'll see what makes me have fun. Now, this is a game, and a creator of a table game, for example, doesn't make one game and that's it. Then he gets other ideas. And don't minimize Yahweh by saying he has no more ideas. This is the maximum one that I had, and that's it. So no, the guy, leave him in his surrounding of God. He says, hold on. I continue to do. Look, I'll give it to you. I'm going to do something else now. Once you understand it with that magnitude, you see that God is above evil, about good, about everything, about everything. He says, hey, take care of it. I'll give it to you. Don't ruin anything. I'll give it to you. Maybe you have problems. You look for me, and I'll help you. And I'll help you and give you solutions, and we'll find a solution. But for now, do it alone. Ciao. Who understands that? No one. No one, absolutely no one. Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, days cometh, saith Yahweh, in which I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Absolutely symbolical. The new covenant that comes is with us. It's kind of like reading this. So, I mean, this guy is crazy. So I might say, no, I'll make you think a little bit past that. I'll read the text a little bit different. Behold, days cometh in which I will make. Well, the athletic club Boca Juniors will win the 7th cup. And with this, you will know that the new covenant cometh towards you. Where do I get these things? A special version that I have that you don't have. I have a measuring rod that you cannot see and don't have the understanding for it. You see how he gave a measuring rod. You already know who it is. A measuring rod sees things that are completely different than those that you see. This is not written here. Yeah, it's not written for you. If you had the measuring rod, then it would project a light and make you see a scripture that you cannot see unless you have the measuring rod. It says, but he makes the text say things that are not there. Yeah, it would be in your Bible, but I could lend it to you, but I won't. We cannot even lend it. It's incorporated. John 6:63. He that hath the measuring rod said, the Spirit is the one that giveth life. The flesh, the words that you see here, and that everyone sees here, are of no profit. The words that I have spoken unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Which is a difference, a great difference. Lots of difference, right? No matter what's written, the words I have spoken to you, they are spirit and they are life. Who says this? The Messiah says it, mind you. And speaking with an ultra-religious person, that could be the case of whomever, knower of every word of the Tanakh, in their original versions, none translated, none transliterated, the Messiah starts to speak with him. He knows everything. He's an expert. They even pay him for that. Then the Messiah answered and said, verily, verily, I say unto you that whomever is not born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus, the biblical expert that reads scripture, said to him, how can a man be born being old? Can he enter a second time into the womb of his mother and be born? Did you know? I'm going to stop right there, because this week I heard something that made me laugh. I'm going to try to explain it in the best way possible. And I don't want for you to think that I'm saying just any stupid shit here, okay? I am in the essence to the word, to the essence of the phrase, the spirit of the phrase. And I comprehended the spirit of the phrase, understanding this text, understanding the phrase supposedly obscene, that you know what it is. I understood what the phrase meant, or else I would not have understood what the phrase meant. And this week I heard a commentator, a soccer commentator, that because he did not repeat this phrase that's obscene per se, he said it in a different way. And he said supposedly this. What am I saying? It might seem to be a puzzle. I'm saying I never understood, but I always used, ever since I learned it, since I was little, not with my parents, because they would just rip my mouth open. Your mother's cunt. It's a way of saying fuck off. Go to your mother's cunt. In Argentina, it's used a lot. Maybe you have not used it so much in your countries, but I speak as an Argentinian, which is the only thing I care about because Argentinian, and precisely the one who has the measuring rod is Argentina. I'm going to see the things as an Argentinian. I could care less how a Brazilian can see it, a Portuguese, a Spaniard. I don't care. What's important is an Argentinian sees it, the one that has the measuring rod is Argentinian, so then the rest of the nationalities are worthless. Either you become Argentinian or nothing. Simple as that. It's very simple. So then, because the one that Yahweh chose, he gave him an Argentinian. If he gave it to a Spaniard, then I'll become a Spaniard. He gave it to a Mexican. Do not doubt it. I'll become a Mexican and I'll speak like a Mexican. I'll take off the last Argentinian accent because if I'm following the measuring rod, I'd better please the one that has the measuring rod. If it's Pancho Villa that has measuring rod, then of course I'll start to say órale and all the things how a Mexican speaks. I'll practice them and I'll practice them because I am following Pancho. Whom did I say? Pancho Villa. I'm following Pancho Villa or whomever. Or whomever. Okay, taking that out. Go to your mother's cunt. Ever since I was little, I used it not with my parents, of course, but amongst little kids, and then when I was older, and then it becomes stronger. When you want to take someone off of you, tell them to fuck off, insult them, you start to use that phrase, why don't you go to your mother's cunt for a bit? You son of 1,000 bitches, go to your mother's cunt. Or directly, your mother's cunt when something happens. I'm not being vulgar here. I'm explaining phrases here. Don't go crazy. I don't want to hurt your ears, your delicate ears. But the phrase, go a little bit over to your mother's cunt, I never understood it. What is it literal to go to your mother's cunt? To go to the vagina that bore him. What does that have anything to do with insulting? I don't get it. I never understood it. What is the insult? Just call him you son of a bitch. Which is not a great insult. To say your mom is a prostitute. But could you insult a guy by telling them, you're a dog shit? You know what? You are, I don't want to use medical words, medical terms, because lately they are sanctioned in YouTube, but they are somebody that is mentally challenged. Per se, you have to be careful what they say in YouTube because you think that, but you're very slow mentally, like a submarine. But I want to make it even stronger. This insult. Tell the truth, you have a mental diarrhea. Tell the truth that you don't have any gray matter. Tell the truth, you have the brain rot. How could I insult him even more? Well, stronger than that is to go to your mother's cunt, you son of 1,000 bitches. What does that mean? I never knew. We always used it. But who made that phrase up? Who made up that phrase? And what did they try to say when they made up that phrase? That is out of, and nobody questions that. What does it mean to go to your mother's cunt? Who questions that? No one. A pre-made phrase has been made. You're dog shit. Leave here. Fuck off. You're worst. You're the worst. You understand what I'm saying? Get out of here. What does that mean? I never knew. No one knew. But I knew it because I have the measuring rod. By reading this text that says, how can a man be born being old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? There's the phrase. Jesus is saying to him, verily, verily, I say unto you, that he that does not go to his mother's cunt again cannot see the kingdom of God. So then Nicodemus, if you want to see the kingdom of God, then go a little bit over to your mother's cunt. He's going to say, wow, Jesus, you're offending me. Yeshua the Mashiach offending a man of the law like that? That is exactly what he said if the words were understood. Because now I've understood and the light has been made. The phrase, the Argentinian phrase of saying, go to your mother's cunt, what it means is, look, what you're doing or thinking is wrong. You're pretty useless. You don't understand things. The life that you have lived has been worthless. What you have to do is go and be born again. That is what the phrase says. Now I've understood it. Because there's no remedy. The way you are, you're useless. Go and be born. Please be born again and live it well this time. That is what it means. Go to your mother's cunt. And I had never understood it. But I started to understand it because in my mind is open. So then, of course, here we have the situation that the Messiah is sending a religious person to his mother's cunt. To all the religious people, the Christians, the Jews, all of them, go to your mother's cunt. I'm Christian, go to your mother's cunt. I'm Jewish, go to your mother's huge cunt. I'm Arab, look, you son of a bitch, go to your mother's cunt also. What does that mean? Boys, in good words, you have to be born again. You see how beautiful it sounds? And that is what you heard the other day. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at exactly. The other day that I told Leslie about, I was listening to a commentator that didn't want to say bad words. So then he's speaking that he had run into some guy, and the guy had sent him straight to his mother's cunt. But he says, no, what'd he say? No, he told me that I had to be born again. Do you understand what I'm saying? And everyone laughed. Because what no one in Argentina tells you, says, hey, you have to be born again. It'd be convenient for you to be born again. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, go to your mother's cunt. So then the guy, turning everything backwards, what is in John chapter 3, that Yeshua says, you have to be born again. He, without understanding anything that his commentator said, and what did he say? No, the guy told me that I have to be born again. And everyone laughed. They said, but with different words, you understand. He told me back to my mom to be born again. That's what he said. No, he sent me to my mom to be born again. So then I said, wow. I mean, if you think about it, on the other side, you see that your mother's cunt, they're telling you, you have to be born again. Go be born again because everything you've done is wrong. You haven't learned a thing, and there's no solution. There's no remedy for you. Be born again. That is the phrase. And I am astounded of what I've taught years ago already, that Yeshua tells Nicodemus, go to your mother's cunt. Now a soccer commentator turns everything around, and he tells you with different words, instead of saying, that guy told me to go to my mother's cunt. And he says, no, that guy told me to go back to my mother to be born again. And those are the words of Yeshua. Did you understand what I tried to say? It is very clear. The Messiah sends to their mother's cunt Nicodemus. So then I'll read on. He that is not born, verily, verily I say unto you, that he that is not born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said, how can a man be born again being old? How am I going to go to my mother's cunt? How can a man enter as a second time into his mother's womb, so as to not say by my mother's cunt to enter and to be born again and be born? It is too explicit. Then answered the Mashiach, verily, verily I say unto you, that he that is not born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. In other words, that he that is not born again in this life, he cannot see the kingdom of God, and even less enter into the kingdom of God. You have to first see it, to be able to enter. If you are here, it's because you've seen it. And we have yet to enter, even though if you consider that this is the kingdom of God, you've entered already. But the kingdom of God has yet to be situated on earth. So then, we've entered into this kingdom of ours. When it is glorified, when the Son is glorified, the mouth of Yahweh, when we win the seventh one, it means that we are going to enter into the seventh millennium, in which we shall take possession of the kingdom. Do not marvel. What is born of the flesh, it is flesh. And what is born of the Spirit, it is spirit. Marvel not that I said unto you, it is necessary to be born again. The wind bloweth from whence it wisheth, and you know its voice, but you knoweth not whence it cameth or where it goeth. And so is everyone that is born of the Spirit. Then Nicodemus answered and said, How can this be done? Then the Mashiach answered and said, Are you a teacher of Israel? Are you a pastor? Are you a religious person and you know not this? Verily, verily, I say unto you, that we speak of what we know, and what we have seen is what we testify, and ye receive not our testimony. If I have spoken to you earthly things, and you believe not, how would you believe if I were to tell you the heavenly ones? Earthly things, simple things, and the people don't believe. How are the people going to believe that the kingdom of God is here? It's impossible. How are the people going to believe that the book of the Revelation was written for us, not for them? It's impossible. How are they going to believe that we need the 7th Libertadores Cup? It's out of one's grasp. Okay. Very well. Enough education about soccer for today. On Friday we play again, and then on Sunday, the Sunday after that. And I hope you're watching the Boca teams. You have to make the effort. You have to get into it, into the essence a little bit. I know that maybe you weren't born with this. I speak to those that a little bit like, yeah, would I watch or not? You have to get into a little bit of Boca doses of the feeling a little bit, just a little bit more. Either way, you can watch the games for free. I've told you the places, the sites where you can watch them in Fútbol Libre, and watch them there. At least to feel what is felt. To feel what is felt. Very well. We shall speak. I have to speak about Sukkot still. I had planned about speaking about Sukkot during Sukkot. And we're way past Sukkot, but I have to speak about Sukkot again because it was the feast of Sukkot. I have everything planned for it and explain many things, but since we've been talking about different things, and I can already tell that when we talk about Sukkot, we're in Sukkot again. No, but we'll talk about Sukkot before, even if Sukkot has nothing to do with the fact right now, but it's one of the feasts. But it had many things to speak about Sukkot. Very well. How are we doing with likes? Let me see. Maybe a lot of people are like, no, this guy is educating about football. Wow. We've gotten to 230, 300, very few Argentinian football fans. Many people have noticed that they're not Boca fans or Argentinians, and they left. Either way, the fan base is being purified. It is being purified. 284. 234, wow. Those that have not given us a like, I was going to say you can go to your mother's cunt, but oh well, aside from going to your mother's cunt, instead of going to that, give us a like. Give us a like. And if you don't give us a like because you don't want to give us a like, then right there, go to your mother's cunt. It's a way of saying you have to be born again. Who's not going to give a like to something that you're enjoying, what you listen to? Where do you listen to these subjects? You want to listen to some religious guy that said what Jesus did, the prophet Jeremiah, how marvelous, or Abraham, that man of the faith, the father of the faith, that was going to kill his own son? Is that what you want to listen to? Maybe you'll give a like to that guy. That, oh, Abraham, the story of Abraham and Isaac represents Jesus. Complete stupidity. Maybe you give a like to that, but here, those that are listening to me and are enjoying, even midway, I'm not saying 100%, maybe not 100%, you know, but give or take, that is better than the rest. Give or take. Better than the rest, give us a like. If you don't want to give us a like, then go to your mother's cunt. This is not the Spirit of Christ. Yes, it is the Spirit of Christ himself. The Spirit of Christ himself. Not the Christ that you think is Christ, that will never come to look for you. That Spirit, that's not it. The Spirit of the Christ, the Christian Christ, that's not it. Exactly, it's not it. The Spirit of that Christ, which you pray to, it is not. It is the Spirit of the true Christ. What does Christ say? Go to your mother's cunt. The Christ that doesn't say that is not a Christ. Because the Messiah, that Christ was telling that to Nicodemus, and he tells it to Nicodemus, a good guy, a religious guy. He's not going to tell you, you son of a bitch, to top it off, you're not good or religious. Go to your mother's cunt. Okay, very well. Taking that out. Now we go to Daniel 8, 13 and 14. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake. Those saints speaking must be one of us speaking. That is what Daniel saw. Because what are the saints? There's one saint in heaven. No, there's no saint in heaven. The saints are only those that are part of the Messiah. Because a saint means to be set apart. Set apart for what? To be part of the Messiah. So then, these saints speaking, Yahweh showed the face of one of us. Speaking with someone, and somebody was asking me, hey, how long shall this subject last, this tribulation? How long will it last, this continuous tribulation? And people fucking with us that are treading as the sons of bitches. That is what the text says, but I'll read to you what it says. I'll translate it with my measuring rod. And the transgression of desolation to give the sanctuary to be trod underfoot. No, that's what the text says. With the measuring rod, I read. Somebody, two from the throne stood speaking, saying, how long should this whole nightmare last? We're sick and tired, completely abuse, lies. They lie to us and everything. Boca does not even dispute the Libertadores Cup, not even the South American. It's a whole chaos, and Gago's the coach. How long will this whole dog shit last? How long? So then he told them, the other one says, oh, he says, until the year 2028. No, it doesn't say that, but it says, until 2300 eves and morns, and the sanctuary shall be cleansed. It lasts 2,300 days from a time that is given where purification starts. 2,300 days later, after that date, will it be purified, the sanctuary well. So then, what's it saying clearly? In some point in time where a purification starts, there would be 2,300 days until the glorification begins. First, purification, and then glorification. Okay, when does the purification begin? Since we started to understand what I told you at the beginning, that we are unit. We are psyche, brain, organ. There's nothing that happens in your psyche that does not affect your brain and your organ. Everything that you think, what you feel, what the strikes you feel them in your psyche. Oh, they hurt me, hurt my feelings, you could say. My little heart, like the boys would tell me when supposedly I would mistreat them. You hurt my little heart. Careful, because if I hurt your little heart, I also hurt your little brain, and I also hurt your little soul. Let's say it's the little heart, it's the psyche. I hurt your little brain, and that little brain will cause an impulse, and three things I'm going to hurt at the same time. Your little heart, your brain, and your organs. So then careful of not receiving so many strikes. And I'm not even going to do you feel that way. You're the one that feels that way, and you say that I'm hurting you, and you're the victim that feels the hurt. That is the problem. So then by understanding that, that's marvelous, that we're a unit, psyche, brain, organ, and the three things are affected at the same time. In fact, without even owing it or being involved, they take out an organ, the others affect you. Why do you think that the vasectomy in men, which is just cutting the vas deferens, I think that's what it's called, that transmits the sperm to pour them into the semen, by cutting that little tube, that's all. The brain perfectly well knows that they cut something, and that what they cut causes impotence. Almost 90% of the people will have impotence. And where does it come from? Oh, because you cut an organ, and the brain says you're not going to be for free. You cut an organ, it won't be for free. You cut an organ, then something is affected in the brain and the psyche. The psyche and the brain says, oh yeah, you cut that off. And why should I reproduce? Why get up? No more. Psychological. It was affected absolutely. Those that are not affected, why are they not affected? That little small percentage that will not develop impotence. Well, actually, they had dominated their subconscious that they didn't want to have any children under any aspect. They wanted sex, but not children, which is not normal in human beings. What's normal is that sex is linked with having children. The man can feel virile because he can have children. That isn't the mind. In certain people, certain individuals, they surpass that. They surpass that bestiality of having children, the law of reproducing. How did they say it? What did they always say, Leslie? To be reproduced. That law of reproduction, certain men surpass that. And they're able to separate, actually, that they don't want any children. That what they've had, or didn't have, but they don't want any more. But they want sex, but not children, zero. But at a subconscious level, and unconscious, could say, yeah, maybe they'll accept not to have children, but at a subconscious level. So then the men that are not affected by vasectomy is that at a subconscious level, they surpass that, so then they're happy. To top it off, I cut that off, that was bothering me. Now I can have sex and children perfectly well. But they have accepted that. Or else, normally, impotence comes that is very marked. So then, okay. I was going to talk about that, I just forgot. I stopped to take that out. Oh, wait, I'm going to repeat everything because I digressed and there was a statement. Okay, whatever. I don't know what I was doing. But what I was saying is that 2,300 eves and morns in our body that is suffering, purification has to be glorified. Has to be cleansed, has to be purified. In that prophecy in 2018, aside from that game with River that I told you, we begin the path of understanding what happens in our body. But that is not enough. Yahweh has to do a work in us that comes after the 2,300 eves and morns, which is the work of the glorification. We have to receive power. We have to receive power. And when it says the Son of Man, now, that's like Yahweh speaking as a Messiah, now it is the time for the Son of Man to be glorified. When? During Pesach. That has to take place. Forget about this Pesach. This Pesach will enjoy all types of food with leaven, pizzas, and all the rest. But glorification, nothing. We're not going to play any championships this year. Forget it. We're not going to play cups. We don't have cups. There's no glorification. If one says, what does that have anything to do with it? It has everything to do with it. Okay. Let us go to Jeremiah 30 as context only. Jeremiah 38 says, for it shall come to pass after the 70 years, after precisely 2018, with everything coincides, I go crazy, everything coincides 2018, 70 years. Wow. Purification begins, 10 days of tribulation begins, which complete with the 80 years of Babylon, the 10 days of tribulation, and all the rest. On that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds in strangers. In other words, he promises on that day, but after the 70, that Yahweh will break the binds that we have in the yoke from Babylon. Babylon has a yoke on us. What is the yoke of Babylon? Everything that you want to understand. To live under their system, to follow their laws, to be under their medical system, to be their insurance system, to be under their monetary system, economical system, to be under their educational system, to be under their scientific system. Whether we want or not, we live in a globe. Even though we don't see that there's any globe or it moves, our whole surrounding in our life makes you feel that we live in a globe and it moves. And you'll see it in the newscast and the images when you're little, the globe, the satellites. And you fight on a permanent basis against that because the truth and liberty is always there. Because we have to live in a global heliocentric system because that is the system that we live in. So then we, even though our mind, our liberty, individually, we know that we live on a earth that's absolutely flat, like this. We live in a government system that's heliocentric. And if you don't want to lose yourself or to stop communicating with this government and with society entirely, you have to accept their terms. And it's heliocentric, and period. That's it. Now that we know the contrary, that's something else. But everything will be based on what the science says. That is the binds, the wooden things that we have. So then Yahweh says, on that time I shall break their binds from off thy neck, that bind from what I've just mentioned about Babylon. He will break them after the 70 years. At some point in time, he'll break it. And then will break thy binds from off thy neck, everything that binds us to the government of Babylon. And the strangers, which is precisely, you can translate it, the Goyim, which in this case is translated as the ones that rule you, Babylon, shall no more serve themselves of him. In other words, it promises us that never again no government will place us under their servitude because it'll be our government. So then, of course, never again will they be able to dominate us by a human government. But they'll serve Yahweh, their Elohim, which will serve Yahweh. And I've explained what it means to serve Yahweh. To serve Yahweh is what I've just explained, to understand that Yahweh is our creator. To heaven as a supreme being of the universe, it doesn't mean that he will be with us, but that is what it means to understand what Yahweh is. And to place him in his place, to say he is God. He goes way past. He doesn't come to rule and to impose his life upon us. But you'll serve Yahweh their God and David their king. That is the Mashiach, whom I will rise upon unto them. So then clearly Yahweh is the one that chooses. Clearly Yahweh is the one that said, I will choose people from Boca, for example, that they have their soul that is Zanese, which is blue and gold. That is what I chose. Now you will have to stand it. That is your king. And that is how you become also blue and gold. Blue and gold. If he wanted a chicken, he would have chosen a chicken. That would make him a different story. Oh, we have the Jesus cloak because we have the blood where they buried the spear and the blood poured out, and so we have the white robe as the saints, like a lamb that is as if he were slaughtered. I could also say we from River Plate, we represent Jesus, because if Yahweh had chosen a chicken from River Plate, then I would speak like this: River is the greatest thing there is. We are the Messiah. Let's suppose all the example, if I were from River, we are the slaughtered lamb. How do you know that it's kind of like slaughtered lamb? Because we have the white robes that are shiny, and they slaughtered us. When they slaughtered us, the blood poured out, and we had a red diagonal line. That you see, that is why we are the representation. I say, fuck that. Yahweh did not choose a chicken. Yahweh chose what he chose. Very well. Having understood all those things, it says, they would serve Yahweh their Elohim and David their king, whom I will rise upon them. Let's go to number 21 in Jeremiah 30:21. And their nobles shall be of themselves. That precisely is that king that he rises up, he says in different words. And their nobles shall be of themselves, and their governor shall proceed from the midst of them. And I will cause him to draw near, and he shall approach unto me. Not the whole world reaches Yahweh, he will draw upon Yahweh. Why? Because Yahweh makes him draw near to make himself be known unto him. That is why this king, this prince, knows Yahweh like no one else. For Yahweh draws nigh unto him, or lets him be drawn unto him, and sees Yahweh as he is. He understands how supreme Yahweh is, the superior of the Christian God and the Jewish God, that believe that he will come to live with them. That is to reduce God, to reduce your deity to your plane, and now you come to live with us forever. No. When this king comes nigh unto Yahweh, he sees him so great, so marvelous, sees him way past good and evil, sees him as the greatest being that exists and the most evil one. Sees Satan himself out of everything, absolutely everything. He sees how he blows the ball away from Cavani and he misses. That's it. He sees the things that that Yahweh does. He sees it. So then he says, and I shall make him draw nigh unto me, and he shall draw unto me. For who is he that dareth approach unto me, saith Yahweh? Who is he that dareth approach unto me? No one. No one can draw unto him except for the one that he allows to draw unto him. (24) Jeremiah 30:24. The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intents of his heart. Clearly, the cast has nothing to do with what you read at a simple glance, because the entire Bible is concealed. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word. It is the glory of the king to discover the word. So then for the whole world that is not a king, they understand something else. Clearly, this text says there are 6,000 years, that specific time, where the world will suffer the wrath of Yahweh. And the wrath of Yahweh is that the whole world knows good and evil and experience it. Here is not about being good beings or evil beings, but beings that experience what the power of good and evil is. Injustice, and injustice to all. The fierce anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have done it and until he have performed the intents of his heart. So then, all those intents of his heart is of the Creator heart. What he considers that would happen. And that had to happen, and that had to be. So then he says, everything that I designed in my heart shall happen, that I consider to happen. In the end of days, not before, never before, in the end of days ye shall consider it. And when is the end of days? The end of days is when we are drawing near unto the end of the wrath of Yahweh. The end of the wrath of Yahweh, when those days are ending, you will understand this. And I tell you, we have understood it clearly, that it is not the wrath of Yahweh against human beings because they see him as a sinner or disobedient. No, Yahweh is not a God that is jealous like we thought, and he told us that he was, because he's a liar. Yes, he is a liar because it's part of creation. But jealous, he's not. How is he going to be jealous about us with the immense power that he has? So then, once we understand this phrase, that Yahweh did everything that he did because it is a design, this majestic design of his good and evil, and we comprehend this, then it clearly means that we are in the end of days. Because in the end of days, you shall understand this. No one understands this text. Maybe they think they understand it. Because why do they understand? No, Yahweh's upset because the world is sinner. What the Jews understand, or else I'll just read all the Jewish treaties that I have. Once you read this text, they say that the wrath of the fury of Yahweh is not appeased because there is not enough righteous people in the world. Once there are enough Zedekim, or righteous people in the world, that is when the wrath of Yahweh shall be appeased. But the wrath of Yahweh is present upon the world because there's lots of wickedness and they won't learn because man is stubborn and they let the Yetzer Hara, their evil part, be evil and to flow. And they are inclined towards their evilness. That is why Yahweh is upset. Because what type of a DHS do you have if you're upset from 6,000 years ago? Yahweh's not upset. These are expressions that are concealed, symbolic. The Jews don't have a fucking idea, the Christians even less, because it depends on what Christians you'll hear. The common, regular, the most basic one, it says Yahweh's upset because they don't accept their son Jesus. The Christians, the Adventists, will say, not just because they don't accept Jesus, but they don't keep their holy Sabbath. Yahweh's upset because they don't keep their holy Saturday, which is not yours, it's his. And he gets so upset when you step on his Saturday. Wow. And if you don't keep his 10 commandments, wow. And if you don't, and if that, below that, and if you don't accept their prophet is Ellen G. White, wow, of course he's going to get upset at you. So, and it depends what Christian you ask, they're going to give you the different versions of why the wrath of the fear of Yahweh is not a peace. No one understands a thing. I explained it to you. It is the true explanation. It means that we're in the last days. The wrath of the fear of Yahweh is not a peace because we're in the time of creation. Yahweh does not have a wrath. This is a play of words. That wrath, apparent wrath, is wickedness, injustice that we live. That we live from the time of Adam and Eve. It is the curses that Yahweh placed upon us. That is the wrath of the fury of Yahweh. In the end of days, ye shall consider this, understand it. And now we go to number 31. '31, 22 that we've read many times, but how do I like to review this? How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? What does this mean? The daughter, it does not mean Israel, but his son. Since it's all concealed, that daughter is the Messiah. That daughter are we. And Yahweh says, until when will you notice, and you don't notice, oh, backsliding, disobedient daughter, or that does not understand, or of hard of understanding? For Yahweh shall create a new thing upon the earth. What comes is new, absolutely new, never seen before, brand new, completely new. The woman shall surround the man. What means that the woman becomes the God of the earth. And that woman is the Messiah. That man is Yahweh. It's kind of like she subjugates Yahweh. It's not that she subjugates him, it's that Yahweh gives the inheritance and leaves. So then she replaces Yahweh, like the new God of the earth. But it's also new, and it's all enigmatic, and it is blocked, closed, concealed with a covered from the eyes of the reader. That is what it means. Something completely new. It's a new earth, new heavens, and a new God. '25. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Upon this I awaked and beheld, and my sleep was sweet unto me. Of course, he saw the end in a way in which Yahweh showed it to him. so that he understands. So Jeremiah understands. He saw the end, and he was happy because he saw a change. A change is coming. A change is coming. A change of a different God is coming in the world. Yahweh the Creator says, my work is done, and my maximum work is not the earth. It was this group, and this group can be the God of the earth. That is my maximum work. Where do we see that? We clearly see it in creation. 6 days of creation, where he creates the beast. That is what humanity represents. Believe it or not, the beast, all types of animals, earthly animals from the water. And at the end, he does a majestic work. He makes man. And Elohim saw that he was good in a great manner. Well, that man and that woman represent the Messiah. And nothing more than the Messiah. Because the human race has not started. The human race has not started in the year 6000. For the human race, man and woman, is created in the 6th day. So then it means that all human beings that have ever lived in the 6,000 years, it's not that they are not human beings, is that the symbol of the humans, which Elohim gives the command of ruling over all the beasts, all the creation, it is the symbol of making them God upon this whole earth. All the beasts are all the human beings, but it's not that it is just a symbol. The difference between the Messiah and the rest, there had to be a type of a symbol that had to be placed. Like the book of Enoch says that a white bull was different to other types of animals. Like an animal, a pure animal is different to an impure animal. So then in this, that is only symbols. The Messiah appears on the 6th day, and the Messiah is the one that will rule the earth. So then, the human race has showed up from the first day of creation. It is not man in this prophecy. It is man in the prophecy is the Messiah. And the Messiah, with that, is what Yahweh creates, and creates something never before seen. Something new, the Messiah. 27. Behold, days cometh, saith Yahweh, in which I shall sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that, like as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, thank you, so will I watch over them. Exactly. He took the Copa Libertadores from us. I'm not going to finish it. Because aside from all our personal problems that are a lot worse than Boca, I see it prophetically speaking. It took us away the possibility of winning the 7th one, of competing, and then last time with a 4th class team, Fluminense, absolutely horrible. Made the goalie that was stopping the goalies with such a change there with Marchesina, with Bray, that he was stopping 4 of the 5 goals that they tried to. This time he couldn't stop any. Why? Because Yahweh kicked them. He would go into the body of the other one, and he would make them kick it, and make them Bray to just touch him like that. And you're not going to get one, he tells them, because I'm going to score everything. I'm going to score everything. And this is just to make them in the ridiculous so that it hurts even more, Yahweh says, in his creator mind. Whom do I make the penalty miss? Oh, the one that they just paid $10 million for. The most expensive one, I'll show them, that even is the worst. So you should see that I'm the one that rules here. So then the 10 million player that we just bought, that supposedly should be the best player of Boca, aside, far away from everything. Who was it? Yahweh. Absolutely, Yahweh. There's no turn of the page. If I had kicked it, I would miss it. If Messi would have kicked it, he would miss it. If anyone would have kicked it, they would miss it. It would not enter anywhere. Nowhere. There was no possibility. But Yahweh said to really fuck them up. I'm gonna fuck up their pride. This is a $10 million guy they bought. Oh, I'm gonna make him look so ridiculous. I'm gonna make him miss, so that they say, "What the fuck did we buy, Riquelme? You son of a bitch! Go to your mother's cunt, right there. Go to your mother's cunt, Riquelme." I'm not against Riquelme, mind you. I'm against Riquelme if he does not kick Gago this week. Every week I'll be against Riquelme, and Gago should not be there. Even if they win 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 tomorrow and next week 6-0, doesn't matter. Gago should not be there. That's it. It's over. Out of there. Thank you for everything. Thank you for nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Go where? To your mother's cunt. Gago, that's what it is. Very softly. Go be born again, because as a coach you're a disaster. So then Gago, and I also send... Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to against Cavani because I know that Cavani, there was a mysterious force. He was about to score, but there was a mysterious force that stopped it. That is clear. That is clear. If you see, there is a mysterious force that makes the ball not hit where it should. It goes to the other leg, and even Cavani's like, what the hell happened? Of course, because it went beep like this, they moved the ball. And the calculation fucked off to hell. That's it. It's over. It's over. There was an over powerful force. That's why I'm not against Cavani, because he placed his whole force. He was there. He wanted to do it. No, the ball moved. It went like that. It moved, and that's it. It's over. And it's over. That's the way it is. The same thing that happened to, if you were to ask them, the prophet. What's the name of that guy? I forgot. What's the name? What was it? No. Balaam. He wanted to curse Israel. And what would come up? Nothing but blessings. Well, Cavani wanted to score. And what happened? Just whatever. Give him a blooper like for real. That's the way it is. But Gago, that guy is out of here. Gago, you go back to your mother's cunt, because I don't like how he plays. I don't like anything about what you do, how you make him play. I don't like him at all. You think that the forwards are based in many forwards? No. Football is generated in the middle, in the midfield. That's where it's generated. 4 in the middle, 4 middle, no more than 4 midfielders. I want 4 of those midfielders. They can advance forward, and they can be either forwards if the case gives it. But if I have all forwards, they're waiting for the ball, they'll never get it, because there's no midfielder that make the ball get there. Gago, do you understand what I'm saying? If we have everyone waiting back, we all want to score, but nobody passes to me well, and the one that passes me like ass. How am I going to score? So then we can have many forwards, but the ball never gets there and arrives wrong. And when they can, they score on us, because the midfielders are also defenders and attackers. So then I don't want forwards, Gago, or whomever other coach. I explain it to you. Maximum 2. Kind of almost just 1 sometimes, but 2 I'll accept it. 2 forwards I'll accept it, because for me a forward is whatever person that gets to the area, not one that is waiting in the area. So then we have 1 forward, 2 forwards, we need 4 midfielders. Those are the ones that generate soccer, and I make those 4 midfielders to practice so that they can triangle by memory. They cannot be seen to say, oh, hey, can you pass it to me? Pass it to me. Here, here, here. No, they have to know that if I receive it, these 2 that are here or here, they know that it is a sure pass. And the more they know each other, they know that I receive it, and I'm going to pass it either there or there. And they have to already get forward or like close to me or be open to me, not to be waiting here. And whom do I pass it to? And they go like that with their arms. Whom do I get? They don't know whom the fuck to pass it, these midfielders. That cannot happen in soccer. When a midfielder receives the ball, they have to know whom they're going to pass it. I want you to know what soccer is. Soccer is not played. I receive the ball, and I'll see whom I can pass it to, and then I'll pass it. You think that is how Messi plays, or whatever good midfielder? No. Before receiving the ball, they already know what they'll do with the ball and whom they're going to give it to. That's what it's about. If it's to the guy that is forward, or he's going to change to the other side, or a cross pass or to his left, he has to already know. When you don't know what you're going to do, then they grab the ball and you kick it back. Since you don't know what the fuck to do with the ball, you receive it and then you pass backwards to what's sure, like crabs to the sides, back. No, a brilliant guy, in the moment in which the ball comes to him, he already knows what he's going to do. There you gain time. And if you play in first prime, you gain time in the time of soccer. Because if you stop it, you get yourself ready and you look, and you think, analyze, and wait for somebody to ask for it to you, then you're lost. Now, if you in your mind already have a first touch pass, when you get to you, you already know that you have a player of you here and here. And you don't stop the ball, just touch. At first touch, you can be sure that it'll get to the area because the contrary team loses one time and you won one. In the moment in which they come to mark you because the ball's coming, since the ball's coming, then the players are coming towards you. At that point in time, if you don't stop it and you think, you pass it first time. The ones that were coming to you, they lost the time. Now they have to change a different direction. If the other player touches the ball at one time, they loses a point. Look at Argentina's score against France. How the ball is touched by at first pass. Why? It's difficult? Yes, it's practiced. You practice it. What the fuck do they do in the club? What the fuck do they do in the club? They start playing stupid shit. They don't really practice soccer. What you practice is triangulation. The first touch, which is I give it, pass it, pass it. Even I would play with their eyes closed, Of course, if I were a coach, I'd be the most spectacular coach that the world has ever seen, but I'm not. I'm not, just like that. But of course, I would make them practice with their eyes closed and to know where everyone is on the field in their mind. Because they have to play quickly, damn it. Quickly, you receive the ball and touch it. Receive and touch it. If you're very good, then pass one player because you already thought about it. And then touch. Don't be thinking what I do with the ball. What I do. It makes me sick, these slow players in slow motion. They stop it, they look, they don't know what to do. They turn back and then back to the goalie. Or else to a player over here, and the other one, a player over here, and here, a player over here. You have to be vertical in soccer. Vertical means that you touch, and to the goal, hit the goal, and if it fucks off, then fuck it out. But end the play. You don't know how it would make Boca play. That team they've got, they have very good players. That little team from Peru, we would beat them 7-0. At least. I can't believe it that they run at nothing, these players. They don't know how to zone play the centers they make. Even my dead grandmother, I think she can beat the defenders of Boca because they don't know what to look for, because Gago makes them have per player, and it's by zone in the modern soccer. It's by zone and hybrid. Zone and player at the same time. You can just follow one-on-one because he'll just leave you there and let you make your screen. If you just cover a zone and then 2 or 3 that cover players, it's a hybrid. Gago doesn't know about that. So then a center comes along and then they're all going to hit in with a headshot or Marticin. That makes them all over the place. It's a goal. Look at the goals that they've scored on this. A center and goal. Who was? Oh, they were marking one that didn't do it. They don't do it. It's by zones. It's many things in soccer, but you have to play quickly, like in your life. In your life, you cannot stop to see what decisions. What am I going to do? Quickly. Do it. First of all, whoever it wants and return it. First of all, at first touch. Don't stay there. Right there, looking backwards. Because you're a loser. You got to go forward. Triumphant or back to your mother's cunt. That's the way it is. Either you win or you go back to your mother's cunt, which means you have to be born again until you become a winner. Very well. Exactly. So then, 27. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah and the seed of man and with the seed of beast. And it shall come to pass that, like as I watched over them to pluck up and break down and throw down and to destroy and afflict, so I will watch over them to build and to plant, saith Yahweh. In those days, they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape and the children's teeth are set on edge. All that I've explained already. On those days, it'll change. He's going to change the curses that were given to us from the supposed original sin that wasn't even a sin. It was part of creation to have that curse. And that comes in the change. So then let us go to, we've read already the other day all of Ezekiel, in which I explained how it'll be on the new earth. Which was actually impressive for us to understand that evil and the possibility of doing evil will continue to exist in all its magnitude. The possibility of exercising and doing evil will continue to exist. And human beings will pay for the consequences, the righteous ones, just ones, until they learn to not do it. But it'll be something which will take thousands of years, I believe. And that and all, if there's a new generation, they have to also learn that comes, I don't know how it'll be achieved. The only thing I know, and I am now communicating to you, is that evil will still exist. And the possibility of doing evil, the difference with our world of now, is that the government will be righteous. That death will no longer have the effect that it has now, and that the government will have the power of resurrection. With just those things, those changes, everything changes. It's new earth. Because now, no one can resurrect you, and the government is not righteous. It's all the contrary. So then, those small changes will make it so that the population, little by little, will no longer exercise evil and start doing good by convenience, by benefit, and by understanding, their own understanding of every one of the people, not by law, because they're going to understand that it doesn't take them anywhere to do evil, it doesn't take them to a good end. They have more benefits by doing good, and that takes time and practice. But the possibility of the most righteous person to doing evil will be always available, per se. Jeremiah 31. Behold, days come, and saith Yahweh, in which I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. Well, this is not what it says, but it says something else. It's not talking about the covenant that he made with the Torah. No. It's part of the cover of the scripture. No. Because to tell the truth, what it's talking about is the covenant that he made with Adam and Eve, the covenant with humanity, the covenant of curse. And that's when I took them out of the earth, not in the land of Egypt when he formed them already. He already cursed them. And there comes a new covenant, not the covenant of all the curses that the woman was to be subjugated to by the man and also by her own cause. The pains are over, useless. The pain also to work and to get bread. It should be pleasure to work and to bring lots of benefits, not just pleasure, but also lots of benefits. That part about working and gain the bread and eat it with the sweat of your forehead, it's telling us what has been fulfilled up until today. In that curse, it'll cost you hours of sacrifice to get the minimal necessities in your life. Some people live better than others, but how does humanity live this whole 6,000 years? I'm not talking about the people that precisely live in countries that are more developed, that have professions that give them better. No, I'm talking about the whole world today in general. They live in general poverty. They have to work more than 8 hours a day to sustain themselves. And what they work is enough, maybe just to eat and maybe just for a little bit more, for a little extra pleasure here and there, but that's not the money that they would wish, that everyone would wish. It's not the car that they wish. It's not the house that they wish. How many of you would want to move to a house away from your neighbors with more space, with more privacy, with more security, so that no one can have enough money of what you wish you had? It's not enough. Nothing. We survive. We get by. Some a little bit better than others. Some more needy, others less needy, but we get by. No more than that. We work like animals to live. That is a curse. We should work to enjoy, to work to feel high joy of what we produce, and to top off the benefits that it will give us to work. We should work and not be tired. So then the day in which we shall build our houses, we can build our houses in the way in which we want, in the magnitudes that we want, and maybe even it'll cost us 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to learn techniques, so as to not do stupid shit, so as to not do type of Tijuana construction that we put something here, a brick, and then something else, and then use metals and like that, and we build like that, and it looks like ass. Nasty. It's nasty. It's awful. That's how we live. Not to live because I don't know how to build, or I don't have money to build, or it's the materials that are gotten on in the street to build. What if the materials are available for everyone? What they want, from marble, wood, cement, bricks. You have to make them all. You have to go make your own bricks, make your cement. We'll teach you everything how to do it. You have time extra and you don't get tired. You know how beautiful it is to learn engineering. Man's engineering is marvelous now. It doesn't even enter into my mind because I'm not an engineer. I wish I were. But the building of bridges, buildings, architectural structures, you say, how do they hold up? They have a calculation of how they hold up perfectly well. That is marvelous to me. It is not a part of a new world. It is ours. Imagine with more wisdom how the whole world should make their own engineering and not say, well, I have this property that I have, I'm going to make the house of my dreams. Everyone, the house of the dream, not just whatever you can. The house of your dreams. That would be beautiful. That is what it is to live. That is what it is to live. Nothing less than that. Not to contract a company that says, can you do this? Make this house? No, you make it. You make it. No, but I didn't. Then learn. Learn. But I've never, we're going to teach you. The government will give you a school of carpentry, construction, engineering, architecture. We're going to teach you how to make every single brick, every rock. We're going to teach you, maybe we'll provide you for a machine or teach you how to use the machines and many other things. You're going to make your own property. Just in the meantime, where do I live? I don't know. Make yourself a tent or something. Kuromi came to visit us. I don't know if you can see him. Kuromi! How big is this cat? Kuromi! Come here. Kuromi! He doesn't listen to me. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here. Come here, Kuromi. Come here. You want to play here? And you play. You want to come out on the camera? What a beautiful cat. Here. This one. Careful with my little car. Careful with my little car. Let's see if we can call his attention. No? I want to show you the cat. Come here, Kuromi. Don't be like that. Wow. What a huge cat. He's got some eyes. Angelina, can you get him for me? Kuromi. Let's see. Oh, careful with the fire. Come here, Kuromi. Come here. Oh, what a beautiful cat. Look at what this cat is with those eyes. Let's see those green eyes. Okay, look over there. Call him over there. Look at what this cat is. Look at what you are. You're the one that grabs the mic, right? grab it from here. Where was it? Look at what the cat is. They operated him with the technology so as to not be reproduced. That's why it's kind of right there, kind of shaved, because he was operated. He came out very well. Good on me. What if, I was going to show you this one, but everything's going to fall. I'm going to show you the gorilla, but everything will fall. Here's good on me. What a beautiful cat. What a beautiful cat, a beauty, such a beauty, such a beauty. He came by himself to visit. So then, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Everyone will make whatever they want. And will not be able to say, oh, I'll pay for a company to come. No. To the maximum, if we're friends, you have a group of friends, which will happen, will help you. So when you have a group of friends and you're a good person, you say, hey, can you help me make my house? Or teach me, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and do it. And we'll take a year, they're making your house maybe, or more. And then you say, now you need to help us. So then you help one another and then you make your own buildings. It's fantastic. We have time for everything. Absolutely time. It's not going to say, oh, but I'm 20 years old, 40 years old, and then I'm no longer God, and then I'll die. No. Make your house kick back. If you don't like it, you can bring down a part, you redesign it. You have to think things well. And time here is what we have extra. What we don't have of now is time. Time is always ending. But in the new world, what you have extra and more is time and talent and schools for you to learn, actually free ones. What if you try to learn architecture now? You pay like $300,000 here in the US, or medicine, they're going to teach you whatever, and you'll pay another $300,000 with the debt of medicine, and you became a slave of the system. Because if you don't follow what you were taught, then just ask Hammer, they'll take your title. In the new world, you'll be able to study for free, just like that, without any debt, for free, without lies. True science that will help you to build. Oh no, it'll be magnificent. There won't be a place for boredom. You're bored now because you haven't learned anything in your life. You're useless. No one wants to teach you anything. You don't have money for anything. So then, and if you have any use of anything, you can't use it because you have to work all of your hours and your energy for someone else to earn a little bit of money to be able to sustain your life, your wife and children, and your house and electricity and everything. No, that's not a good life. It's our life, but it's not a good life. Once you learn what life is, wow, you don't need to work to earn money. It is work for you, for yourself, to be able to build for yourself, your talent to learn for yourself. And for yourself, Dad, we don't have enough to eat, and your wife is just like, you're lazy, and once again, or in your project, for example, you have to go and work, you have to feed us. The bills are here, everything's falling, they're going to cut our electricity, the internet. I cannot listen to Christian. So then you won't be able to listen to them. What you're going to listen to is your time. You're going to use it like a god, because you'll be on a race of learning, not just us. I'm talking about the whole world. Marvelous, inconceivable. Marvelous. That is the new covenant. The covenant that he gives the Messiah to be the God of the earth. Behold, days come, and saith Yahweh, in which I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. It has nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with that. But when you took them out of the land, Adam and Eve, which make my covenant, they break. That's a lie. That's a lie. The covenant was broken since he gave it to them, because it is an unfulfillable covenant, invalid. So then, but of course, you have to know Yahweh and draw near unto him to understand this, because they break my covenant. Also, he doesn't even believe it. Although I was an husband unto them, saith Yahweh. Although I was an husband unto them, and they broke my covenant. It's all the cover. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. When? At the end of times. When? After the 70 years. When? After 2018. Saith Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts. No, don't tell me that. How many times did I memorize it? You shall not have any foreign gods before me. You shall not take the name of thy God in vain. You shall not make any graven images. Remember the Sabbath day. Honor thy father and thy mother. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not rise false testimony against your neighbor. Thou shalt not steal. And also, this is just for men. Do not covet the woman of thy neighbor, and also not the cow or the car, your Mercedes of the neighbor. And what about the women? No, not you. It's only for the men. I already learned it by memory, and now you want to record it in my mind. It's crazy. Yahweh's crazy. What's going on by the commandment of yours is to learn it, but not for me to record it. I also made a machine with all the commandments, and I'll do whatever I want. What do I do? Program me, blah, 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 program me. What do I have to do? Love you? Put it as thou shalt love Yahweh thy God with all your heart. Can you write it for me? I don't have to practice it anymore. It makes no fucking sense to fulfill it. Because it's naturally mine, and I'm going to do whatever the fuck you wrote in me. Exactly. If I make a computer and I write for them to do a vacuum, to vacuum my house, and I program it like those robot computers that I don't have, those computer robots, we program it, but if they start to wash my dishes, well, what are you doing? Vacuum. I told you to vacuum the floor, not for you to wash my laundry, not for you to kill my cat. What if the vacuum was to kill the cat, and it's after the cat is, hold on, stop. And the vacuum is like, no, because you gave me the suggestion in the commandment, but tell you the truth, I'll do whatever I want. So they'll say, no, what I'm going to do is program you. So then I will record in you, careful with the flowers. Is it oh, wow. I'm gonna record the information, I'm gonna record the information, so then you're gonna do what I tell you. That is what Yahweh is saying that He's gonna do to us. That would be a tragic event, and it's a time in which the human race no longer is thinking beings, and they become robots. So then, that is not what the text means. We used to think in some Christian idea, oh, how beautiful it'll be when I no longer have to think and not stealing. That I cannot think or have the possibility because every time I want to steal, my hand in my interior will not give it a chance because it'll say, no, there's a blockage. Thou shalt not steal. It is incorporated. So then maybe I see something that you don't even apply because it's not even across my mind that I can steal something. Oh, how beautiful is this? And if we say, thou shalt not covet, I'm going to see things, and I'm not going to have the least of covetousness. I'm not even going to know what covetousness is, not even know what it is. Because what you can't do is that, by nature, then you don't know that it even exists. If you, by nature, cannot steal, you cannot kill, you cannot covet, you cannot insult Yahweh, because there's a possibility, right? You cannot have other gods that you made up because you wanted to have another god, your dog, for example, or your soccer club, and all the rest of the commandments that He wants to give. If they're all recorded in me, then I will no longer know whether they exist or not, because it's my programming, and there won't be anything in my mind that analyzes what would happen if I do it. It would not even cross my mind to break them, because it cannot even analyze that they could be broken. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because directly is what I would do. Somebody would tell me, hey, do not steal. And I'm going to say, what do you mean don't steal? Of course, I can't steal. It doesn't even cross my mind to steal. It's inconceivable to steal. No, it doesn't cross my mind ever. And the guy's going to say, no, okay, then this guy's programmed in a case, for example. So then what does this mean? This is the new covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. I will put my law in their inward parts. I've explained this already. You already know. It is a new law, a law of nature. This is promised not to all human beings, but to the Messiah. The Messiah receives this promise, and it is the glorification receives a new nature, a divine nature, which will allow him to have power above and over the forces of nature, equal to the Messiah saying to the storm, stop, stop the winds, and it stops. Who is this man that even the winds obey him? It is a property that we don't have. If the Messiah says to the fig tree, you will no longer give any more fruit, and you get dried up, and the next day it was dry, it is a property that we don't have. And if the Messiah says, Lazarus, you'll be 4 days dead, now arise and come here, and Lazarus obeys, it is a property that the soul can bring and fabricate a body or rebuild a body or make it anew and join a soul with a new body and make it life, give it life, and to keep their memories and all the rest. It's a property that we don't have. So then that is the law that he has to give us. The law to resurrect, the law to stop old age and to be able to make it go backwards and to live in the age that we like the best, in the way we look. The law to beautify ourselves, the law to do an upgrade in all our body and whatever we want, a law for resurrecting others, a law for modifying nature. I'm sick and tired of earthquakes. I don't want there to be any more earthquakes ever again. It makes no sense for the earth to quake. Also, it makes no sense for there to be a volcano and then all of a sudden you built your house for 100 years to make it, like Minto made it in his place in Guatemala, and then because he wanted, and in the land of the volcanoes, 4 or 5 volcanoes, and then everything in Minto's house. Minto's not going to like that. So then we have to have power to close volcanoes that should not exist or make them come up very pretty in order, in an orderly fashion, saying up until there, so then all that we can do like a lava river and do what we want with that. There's power for that, power for the seed, to tell the seed to go back, to expand this, the blockage that we have, the power to rule the sun, the moon, and the stars, or change them however we want. That is the power that we need. Not the whole world will have that, only the government. So the government have power now of placing strange clouds above our heads. That's what the government, the power they have, not us. We're talking about power that it's beyond creation. So then this is the law. I shall give my law, the law of God, the law of Elohim the Creator, unto you. I shall make you a nature of God and write them in your hearts. And that is what I do want him to write. No law of how I should act or whom I should love or what I should do or not do. No. Zero. None of that. I want a natural law of nature, such as God is. He has to give us that law to us. A new law. Not all of his power, that's fine. I just ask for those things. It's not many things. I'm realistic. Power to resurrect. Power, genetic, entire power of our power, absolute to upgrade whenever we want, in every aspect, and to heal and to work in every aspect of all the rest when it's necessary. Power to resurrect, power for all the things that I have to do in earth is not much what I'm asking. Absolute power on earth, this one. I'm not asking absolute power wherever he's going to create. No. I'm just absolute power on this earth of reforming things, of stretching it to take barriers down and to change the ecosystem to see what works, what doesn't. Those are the same things that I'm asking for, nothing else. I mean, when I say the earth, I also say upon the vegetables and the fauna, to change their nature, for them not to kill each other. I'm sick and tired to live always killing each other and eating themselves one another. No. I'll make them grow to some vegetable. Everybody's happy. The lion is with the sheep together. and that my new children or your children to be babies that they can play with a cobra, and for the cobra to take care of them, and also for a lion to take care of them. Where's the baby? Oh, with the lion and the cobra. Oh, how beautiful. They're having fun. Where did the baby put his hand? In the cobra's house. Wants to bring one of the tiny little cobras, and the black mamba's there. Oh, with the black mamba. Yeah, the black mamba. Oh, how good. Okay, so then they're fine. I'm not gonna worry then. That is what I want. Just little changes like that. I need entire dominion over that. The animals, the vegetables, the entire earth, and humans. And that's it. That we're done. And it's not much. I'm not asking power of God like him. No, I'm just asking for those things. Humbly asking. So then I will place my laws and my those are the things that I need. And write them in their hearts. I make them the least. If Yahweh, maybe Yahweh want to give us less than that. No, not less. If more than that's fine, we accept. But less than that, what I'm giving you in the list, no. And I will be their God. Of course, completely. Absolutely. He'll always be our creator God, and they shall be my people. Yes, they shall be my son. Exactly. That right there is accepted entirely. What comes next is marvelous because in this group, this has already started to be fulfilled in this group. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. And they shall no more teach every man their neighbor. And every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they shall all know me. From the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin and I will remember their sin no more. And I will remember their sin no more. As I was reading this, I was thinking what I was about to tell you. This is clearly applied the way I said it. But Yahweh does not have to remember of any sin because we've never sinned against him. No human being has ever sinned against Yahweh, not even say, what a Yahweh son of a bitch. There's no sin against Yahweh. It doesn't exist, any sin against Yahweh. It's all lies, part of the creation. It doesn't exist. No one has sinned against Yahweh. No. So then this Yahweh, to a plain field of understanding, we understand it. The Messiah needs the power of Yahweh. Needs the power of God. Now, once he has it, he becomes a God. So then, this what I'm reading here, the most profound and true application passing over the level that I've explained already, now and before, in this text, let us give it a new explanation. Because if already the Creator, through the Messiah, he made him God, your throne, O God, made him God, made him the attributes of God, which is the new law, then what follows here is talking about the new God of the earth. And we can apply it perfectly well this way. The God of the earth, which is the Messiah, which is the God, the new God of the earth. They shall be known by everyone because those that enter into his kingdom will be citizens. They don't enter just in the masses. They enter by signing everyone individually their citizenship, like I've explained already. It's not that all of a sudden the Messiah says, all of you, this whole entire country, enter here. No. Every person that will be incorporated themselves, which will be everyone, which will be the whole creation from Adam and Eve up until now, but everyone will be one by one signing the citizenship. It's not about salvation, and it's not enter into the kingdom in the masses. No, it's individual. Like the Christians always would tell us, and we would say, salvation is individual. I tell you, the entry into the kingdom of the Messiah is individual. Everyone enters. They have to sign. You want to belong to the new kingdom? Yes. Do you agree with these colors? Yes. Do you agree with this flag? Yes. Do you agree with this kingdom and these kings that will rule for life? And that there's no democracy, nor will there ever be. You will not vote to see who rules us. The government is the owner of it all. It is your God. More than governor, your God. Do you agree? Well, let me think about it. Okay, as you think about it, you'll be out next. Do you agree with all this? Yes, of course. Then, okay. Sign here and do the sworn declaration to the flag and your new God. You have to say, give or take, from here on out, this is my new flag, and this God is my new God. Give or take, like Ruth said, your God shall be my God. Well, the new God shall be my God. And all the rest of the gods that you have, the Christ, the Jesus, the Yahweh, the Lord, and this one and that one and the other son of a bitch, into the garbage can. So then you swear loyalty to whom? To my new God. Okay, go on. You're part of the kingdom. We give you this property. We give you these virtues. Now we'll start to work in your physique. And we give you certain rules. You're going to have to start to get better. And the rest, we're going to be with you step by step because you're part of our kingdom. You don't enter in the masses. You enter individually. And here, this is applied. All those who enter into the kingdom and all who make up the kingdom, and no man shall teach any man his neighbor, any man his brother, saying, know God. No longer Yahweh, because that Yahweh was the Messiah. No God, for they shall all know me. Of course, if everyone that enters into the kingdom, they know that they're swearing by that God, of course they know him. Do you understand what I'm saying? In that kingdom, they all know God. No ridiculous person is going to say, I had a vision of God that spoke to me. No. If you live here. All the Americans that didn't know Trump? Of course, absolutely. Americans and non-Americans, they know Trump. So then, no one's going to say, who's Trump? Who's Trump? What? Where do you live? Where the fuck did you come from? Could here in the U.S. someone say, I don't know who Donald Trump is? No. So then, we're talking about the God of the kingdom. And no man shall teach any more his neighbor or his brother, saying, know God, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith. Here it says Yahweh, I'll tell you, the Messiah says so. And with the Messiah, the new God says that. They will all know me. But if all, they're all going to enter to my kingdom by signing a sworn oath to be able to enter a citizenship, of course they know me. Because I will pardon. Who's the only one in that worked? I will pardon or forgive. I don't like it. But what it means, it's trying to say, because it's concealed, it's not forgiveness. The world does not need our forgiveness. The world didn't do anything to me, even less the people that died. I could say certain people that did some sort of hurt, but not even they come to mind. I don't have none. No hate for any person, except maybe a little bit like this against Gago that made the team lose. Well, I'm just fucking with you. Not with the character. I could be his friend and tell him as my best friend, you can go to your mother's cunt. You're my best friend, but go to your mother's cunt. Not to Boca leader. You can still be my friend. I don't have people like that. I don't have one sole person that I hate. No, none. Absolutely. So then I should not forgive anything to anyone. This word to forgive, I'll change it. Because I shall be convert, not forgive, convert. To convert is a change in the path, a conversion in the military, a conversion to left, and they changed to the left. My other left. Conversion to left, conversion to the right. That is what conversion is. So I'm going to convert. We, the Messiah, we're going to convert their iniquity. They don't even know that they're evil. And if they are, and if the wickedness that comes from their parents, and the one that comes in the genetics, in the one that comes already in their structure, which is evil because it kills us. That is what we shall convert. That is why it is the Messiah, the Savior. I shall convert. I have nothing to forgive them. I want you to understand the difference. The word forgiveness, I'll take it out of there. I want to help them to change. I shall change their wickedness, and I will remember their sin no more. No more sin, but their mistakes, rather, of what they did. Only the Messiah can say this. Tell the truth, it doesn't matter what they have done. It doesn't matter. I'm here to convert them, to convert that wickedness into something that you dominate. That you dominate to say, no, now I understand what's convenient. Because all the most evil people that have ever existed on this earth, and quote-unquote evil, is because they lived a terrible childhood. How the fuck do you fix that? Notice nobody becomes very evil by having a very good family, an upbringing, or lineage, or a beautiful home. You can think that a person was born in a good home and they became evil. No, I can assure you that there were things that you didn't know in their life, and it was a disaster, or things that were pernicious for the individual, or the individual would see them in a different color. Everything that happens to us, we're not here to forgive anyone. We are here to transform, to redeem. That would be the word also, to redeem. That is the mind of the Messiah. If you don't have that mind, you don't have a mind, you don't have the faith of the Messiah. The faith of the Messiah is to convert, to redeem, to save everyone. Forgive? No, not to forgive. To forgive are the Christians. To forgive is the Yahweh the Christians watch, so they have to forgive you. No. To help, to convert, to redeem, to transform. A messianic mind. The mind, the faith of the Messiah in humanity. The humanity doesn't have to come and ask the Messiah to forgive them. He won't accept it. If somebody comes, oh, forgive me. No. I don't have nothing to forgive you. I'm here to help you. Don't you understand? I'm not here to forgive you. I'm not a forgiving God. I am a transforming God. A redeeming God. Not forgiving. I'm sick and tired. I'm up to here with it, with that phrase, God, forgiving God. No, forgiving God is no good. Forgives, and the people didn't learn. You forgive them, they don't learn anything. No, I want a redeeming God, a God that is a Savior, a transforming God. That is what I want. And that's what I want for the world. 35. Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. There it is. That Yahweh speaking is not that Yahweh that you think that it's our Yahweh creator. No. We've already changed the level. We're in a new level. We're in the new world. If it's precisely after the covenant that Yahweh glorifies us. And this group of people, speaking in third person, becomes the God of the earth. So then the one speaking here is no longer Yahweh. Yahweh no longer intervenes. It no longer matters. It is it's no. I've used this phrase. If it is Yahweh the Creator that comes and says, "Thus saith Yahweh." No, this is not the Creator, and it's part of the cover. This is the new God of the earth is speaking here. And Yahweh calls him because I am that I am. I am that I am. Whether you like it or not, I am that I am. So then I will change the phrase of Yahweh. I'm going to say, just so you understand, God. Just God. I'm going to say Messiah, but just simply God. That's what I'll say. Thus saith God, which giveth the sun for the light of day. It will no longer be Yahweh, it will be the new God, and he will change the laws of the sun. That is why he mentions that. And the sun for the light of day, and the ordinances of the moon, and of the stars for a light by night. Why does it mention this? Everyone knows that the God Creator has already placed those laws thousands of years ago. Why is he repeating? I'm the God that gave the laws, mind you. Remember them? The God that gave the sun of the light for the day and the stars and the night. No, no, no. Are we idiots or what? It's not what this means. What this means is that the God of the earth will change everything. And will tell him, I, the God and ruler of this earth, I've decided to make the sun more versatile, for it to no longer burn, for it to already, to have, I don't know, whatever the government decides that is convenient. In no place of the earth should there not be the assistance of the sun, and for it to be so cold, unless it's convenient to have a space of lots of cold for something, but not to live, for people to live. But so then it'll change, the laws will change, because it is their land already, it's their own laws, their earth, their laws. That is the God that's speaking. Which divideth the sea, it says. Is it that God's going to be dividing the sea up until now? Yahweh? No, it's not referring to that. It's referring to the new God of the new earth that starts to divide the sea, what I've just mentioned. The sea is too big. We have to make it smaller. We want to start to resurrect and bring people into our kingdom. We're going to need a lot more terrain. So in fact, what do we want it? It's got its benefits. We'll reduce it. We'll divide it. We'll make dry land. And we'll say, let there be a dry land. And the sea is divided. You see how I always said for it to divide it. And then that's the power that the sun gets. In this ocean that I see, nothing but oceans, way too much. We'll divide and make a whole new, per se, continent. Just so you understand, a continent. Beautiful continent. Here another one. And we'll leave this. This is sufficiently great. We don't need too many fish in the sea and whales. Purification. No, because the ecosystem, because the seas give oxygen. What is this idiot saying? Is ignorant, is saying that he's going to change all the laws. Doesn't need so much of a sea. So that right now it's a disaster. The earth, now the ocean is contaminated. The earth will be a lot more pure with a different system of purification. Other systems, more versatile, a lot better. Energy systems that are better. And so we need terrain. So then, okay, that is why it's speaking in the language is completely concealed. That divides the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. No, his name is the God of the new earth. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh, the God of the earth, and the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. The seed of Israel. It's all lies. The God of the new earth is speaking, and he says, in our laws will never, in fact, I'm going to reform them all, because or else no ever human seed could ever survive what I want to do. And what I want to do is to make an ambient, an environment that's a lot better, far from curses of what we've had up until now, because this is my land, this is my earth, my system. So then, that descendants is what's referring to all the humanity, that it will never, ever lack, and it'll all be lived together. You need lots of land. You need a different production of food. You need all that. It'll be marvelous. 37. Thus saith Yahweh. And it's not Yahweh, it is the God, the new God. Thus saith the new God, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh. Absolutely. This phrase is easy to understand with what I've just said. The people are not going to be able to have the power of the God of the earth, so then they're not going to be able to know the depth of heaven, nor the foundations of the earth, how it is there. Only the new God of the earth. So then, what it means is that they cannot explore, they will live forever. They will not have any lack, since they can't do that. It's kind of a dumb expression, but oh well, I'll explain it to you. if these laws were to lack from before me, also the seed, it says that the heavens above can be measured. I'll make it negative since the heavens cannot be measured, nor can you explore the foundations of the earth. Also, there will never, the seed of Israel will never lack. That's what it says. You just understood it. Behold, days come, saith Yahweh. What Yahweh? This Yahweh? The one that we know? No. All this talks about the new God. Behold, days come, saith the new God of the earth, that the city shall be built. That the city shall be built to Yahweh. From the tower of Hananeel unto the gate of the corner. Well, it would seem to be a humorous phrase, but well, it says that the new God will set and make a special city for a special group. The city will be the capital of the empire, and the empire is the whole earth. It will be a city that's very special. That right there will be seen by the new God in his time. That is what it's saying. And it's a city for him. For him, and it's that group that I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying. It is the Messiah entirely. The city of the Messiah. A special city. The Messiah, very special, which is the capital of the empire. Will let the people build in certain parts of the city. And it will be the greatest city that has ever existed. I was going to say the galaxy, like Star Wars. But it'll be, and I sound like a heliocentrist, it'll be the biggest city that has ever existed on Earth. Because the whole world's going to want to have a city in the capital. Who's not going to want to have a land? I mean, a city in the capital of the whole Earth. And it's not going to be Jerusalem. We're also not going to say Jerusalem. I'm sick and tired of Jerusalem, and all that. It's going to say, it's got different name. I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you the name that it'll have later. 39. Because it's our capital. We'll put whatever capital that we want now because Jehovah the Creator wanted it to be called Jerusalem. No, I'm sick and tired about Jerusalem. I can't even hear that name. Not Jerusalem, not Yerushalayim, no, the bitch that bore them. They can all go fuck off to their mother's cunt, Jerusalem and all the rest. 39. And the measuring line shall yet go forth over against it upon the hill. It'll be huge. It can't even be measured with. It'll be a city of a fucking mother. You just imagine, billions of people can live there. Enormous city. People are going to say, wow, this is the biggest city that will exist. New York, Los Angeles, the dog shit. This city is the biggest of them all. In the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron into the corner of the horse gate towards the east shall be holy unto Yahweh. What Yahweh? It'll be holy unto the new God of the earth. It'll be set apart. It's talking about that he chooses the best zone of the earth to make this new tremendous city. Maybe he even uses something of the new earth that he will create in the ocean. I don't know. That I don't know. But all this is set apart and special for God, nor thrown down any more forever. So then, well, I've just given you a new interpretation that's a lot more in accordance to what we understand. No one is thinking and making a city for God the Creator. If it says, I'll leave for 1,000 years, and it says, to tell the truth, this earth is your inheritance. I made it for you. It's not that I'm bored of the earth. No. From the very beginning, I've showed it to you in the 6 days of creations. I made it for you. And here I give it to you. And who are you? The new God of the earth. The one that it says, your throne, O God, forever and ever. Because you love justice and abhorred wickedness. That is why I make you the new God of the earth. That new God of the earth will make a city. And everything that it says, oh, this city is for Yahweh, it'll be a city. Because he wants to make a city. Because he wants to make the biggest city of the whole earth, the capital of the kingdom. We'll name it. We'll make it the capital with some incredible buildings and structures for all those that are a part of that God of the earth, for all his government. I can imagine that it'll be a house, a gathering place for many, many people. I can't even give you the number, and I don't want to call it a temple, but I could call it a temple, not of worship. This God of the earth does not require worship. It'll never be about coming to be worshipped. No. If they come, it makes people to come so that they have fun. Like your best friend could invite you. Not for you to worship him, but so that you have fun and you enjoy his company. That is why he'll make a temple. For the people to enjoy, so that they enjoy. And to give blessings unto his friends, his people. That is what the new temple will be. Of the new God of the earth. I can imagine that it'll be a structure that is unthinkable for our minds in this dimension now. Because many people have to enter. I'm not saying all of them, but many people have to enter into the temple. And the temple is something which the people will come, but I'm saying they will come joyfully, not to worship, but rather to have an experience which lots of pleasure with God. Why? Because it'll be pleasurable, it'll be friendly, it'll be an invitation so that they enjoy of food, of game, of whatever, absolutely. That is what the God of the earth, the new God, will require. Never worship. Never processions, never any other type of what we understand is that a God requires sacrifices. None of that. The God of the earth will be the best friend of the human beings. I wanted to explain again this whole text. And next week, I do promise that I will go into a text, which is the text that I was going to explain, that I understood, that I had never before understood, that no one understands. But now we can understand it and visualize it very differently. But that will be for next week, which I don't want to say which one. But I told you the other day, I'll repeat it again. We'll study it next Shabbat. I want every one of you to understand that what we live on this earth, every detail has a sense. It has a sense. And even more when we look for the sense. All things don't make sense. It sounds like I made poetry, but it isn't so. If we look for a deep meaning for everything that happens to us, we can get to see a mission. We can get to see a hidden message. But once we take, like nothing is of value, just the scripture, it is what I believe in. The only thing that has value is what the pastor said to me, or then nothing makes any sense in your life, nor will ever have. That's why I brought the things that for me are important, that are a part of my life since I was little, that were a great part of my life in this whole, my 55 years of life that I have. 55, am I 55 years old? Just in case. I am still a baby. I would like to be 55,000 years old. Once I'm 55,000 years old, it says I feel even better, more powerful every time. The Boca Juniors Club has been for me a very important aspect of my life. So how do we leave it outside, saying those are things that are worldly, that God has nothing to do with that? No, for me, God has everything to do with it. In my life, everything has to do with everything. And the messages that He gives us, it has everything to do with me. In every aspect. It was all designed in that way so that I comprehend, so that I understand things. So then, everything has to do with everything. I don't know why some days ago, always what comes to mind is, I don't know why, but I'm going to tell you, a song that I love, the greatest writer and singer, rocker in Spanish is called Charlie Garcia. I know that you may not like it, maybe he's old for you. I understand that since you never listened to him when you were young because you become Argentinian when you were older, but you become Argentinians either way. It's not a part of your essence. But Charlie Garcia is the maximum, the highest, in the highest regard in every aspect. If I have to go with somebody in Spanish, I'll state Charlie Garcia over every artist of rock. Every single. Charlie Garcia is the maximum. In every aspect. Why? I can't explain it. It's something which I felt it in the blood. It has good lyrics. It's got extraordinary, divine lyrics. It's got lyrics that, well, kind of crazy in many aspects that could be shocking for you. But for me, Charlie is an important part of my life because a lot of part of heavy metal has nothing to do with heavy metal, but it is the part which complemented many years of my life, and they are recorded in the heart, and there are lyrics that as I grew up and matured, they have become so important in my life that I did not comprehend them when I was young. I would sing them, didn't comprehend them, the dimension that they have a musical genius like Charlie Garcia. For example, the song that I want to share to you quickly, it's called The Inconsciente Colectivo, the collective unconscious. Already with the title, which is not repeated anywhere in the song, it's never even mentioned, it's already weird. What is the collective unconscious? We talk about collective consciousness, things like that, but collective unconscious, the collective unconsciousness, I never understood, even when I was little, what it meant. The collective unconsciousness, I even thought, isn't it that because collective, we in Argentina, we call the buses that. The buses, we call them a collective, and collective unconsciousness, this guy's very conscious. He says, what does it mean, this guy with the collective unconscious? Well, now I comprehend there's something that unites us all. That is the collective unconsciousness. It is an unconsciousness that if we project it and we join it together, it has a joining, which is Yahweh the Creator. He gave the spark of energy of life of himself and created the human race, and all of us are connected in one way, the main one, which is life of Yahweh. That collective unconscious, there are points in common with everyone. I believe that there is a communication between human beings, very much at a subconscious level, very low, very little, but there's something. Unexplainable. I cannot understand it now. I'll understand it later. I cannot understand it now. But things like, guys like this guy, that transcends the mentality, the genius, like Charlie Garcia is an absolute genius, incomparable. Transcends what you may think or I can think. In a genius mind or of God would inspire him to write the songs that not even he understood. I don't know. Because if you listen to him speak, he would seem a guy that is retarded. But gives you an answer and leaves you stuck. I mean, I don't know. Right now he's old. He's about to die. He's 70 years old and poor guy. Lots of drugs, lots of abusive and aspects of substances, alcohol, and all the rest. Just imagine, to a brain that's so privileged like his, wow. We enjoyed him a lot, and we're going to enjoy his songs. But this song has in the choir, there's a phrase which I always sing it in my interior because I love it, which is, suck from liberty. You will always carry it within your heart. They can corrupt you. You may forget. But she is always there. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazies, those who left, those who are in prison. Today I awoke singing this song that has already been written a long time ago, and it is necessary to sing it once again. Everything that I've said, it is a work that cannot be any better. And it would seem to be words of the Messiah. When it says mama la libertad, it's not talking about a mama, like a mom or your mother. It's talking about sucking, to suck, a suckling, like you suck on a tit. Suck on the breast of liberty. You shall always carry it within your heart. What the people don't know, they live imprisoned, but actually they have a liberty within their heart that could break many binds, but they don't know they're bound to the religions of what they'll say, to the families, the certain ethics that are taught, all that binds them, what was taught to them, what is right and wrong, that take their liberty away. That is why you have to learn to suck on liberty's breast, that you always take within you. They can corrupt you. What a phrase. They can corrupt you. It's not that you corrupt yourself. They can corrupt you, starting with your mom and dad. The Bible tells you only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Right there, they corrupted you. Right there, since you were born, they can corrupt your religions. They can corrupt at work, because you'll be corrupted. You're going to do whatever to survive, to earn a living, and for those that you love, and you'll be corrupted. You will do things and have done things that you don't feel proud of stealing, lying, in every aspect. Who has not stole hours at work, or something that nobody has ever noticed? Some point in life you've done it and lied. I mean, forget it, don't even mention it. So then all the entire society is corrupt. They will corrupt you. Yahweh corrupted us from the moment that he corrupted our nature of having pains and suffering and dying. We are corrupt. So then a genius guy like Charlie tells you they may corrupt you, starting with Yahweh, because the religion he gave us, how it corrupted us. Poor Jews. To do sacrifices of animals is such a corruption that is absolute to healing a healthy mind. Circumcision, it is an absolute corruption to the children, a violation, and an extreme wickedness, corruption. And then all the fucking laws that the Torah gave us, corrupt. The woman is no good, she's of no value, women are dirty, women, when she's unclean, she is no good, and it's a danger for everyone. And all the rest of the dog shit laws, Yahweh corrupted us in every aspect, but it is part of the plan. I'm not criticizing you. I'm understanding a mind like his that says they can corrupt you. Of course, ever since you were born. They can corrupt you, that you can forget. How many things have we learned to do well and then we forget? And then, but I knew how to do this. I had that. You can forget even how to love. You can forget how to do things that you should do, of having a good attention. That's why the matrimonies, they start off well and they end up very bad because they forget. Because they have to make happy of the other person and have nice gestures about spending time together, of showing love, how much we love them, each other. They forget. They forget. Aside from the fact that they corrupt each other in the bad way, they can corrupt you. You can forget. But she will always be there. Who's she? Liberty. You have it there. You have it there at your disposal always. You can always break with everything. And what follows? Here, these are messianic words. Yesterday, I had a dream about the hungry. Who are the hungry? Those who are hungry of learning. Those who are hunger knowledge and hunger justice, hunger salvation, hunger physical hunger. Those who are hungry for being able to do activities that they would have liked to do, like building, learning, other disciplines. They are hungry. They are hungry. Who are the hungry? All the human beings. In one way or another, we're all hungry. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry. Only a Messiah can say this, mind you. Yesterday I had a dream with the crazies. Who are the crazies? Those that are marginated, the misfits outside of the society. Those are the crazies. If you don't think like the society, you're crazy. We're completely insane. If you go against medicine, you're crazy. If you go against science, you're crazy. If you're against the government, you're crazy. If you against the religion, you're completely crazy. If you're against the God of the earth, you're crazy. You go against Jesus, you're crazy. If you go against the Holy Spirit, then you're lost forever and you cannot even ask to be forgiven. It's very crazy. And that is how we move on. Those are the crazies. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazies, those who left. Who are those who left? The dead. Only a Messiah can dream with the dead and to remember the dead. How does he remember the dead? Maybe someone that they lost, mom, dad, son, for a time, remembers them until they die. But who remembers the millions of dead that there is since Adam and Eve? It's not just your mom, your dad, and your children, or your sister. No. That is one more of the billions of dead people that have ever died that should hurt. Saying, when are those people going to receive life? That is what it is to have the mind of the Messiah. To be worried with every death, starting with Adam and Eve, starting with the first death of them all, which was Abel. Who the fuck cares about Abel? I don't think anybody cares about Abel. Well, I care about him. I care about Abel. Abel and Cain also. For the same equality. Cain, I don't have to forgive anything to him. Abel has to learn to forgive. He has to learn to forgive. And Cain has to learn to act well. Not to be grabbing something and killing. That is what they have to learn, these people. How beautiful it would be. But what is the mind of the Messiah? Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazies, those who have left, those who are in prison. Who are in prison? The whole world is in prison. Different prisons. Religious ones, political ones. Own prisons, family prisons. Their own opinion is a prison. Biblical concepts. Your work. Your house could be a prison. Your husband could be a prison. Your wife could be a prison. Your children could be a prison. Your duty or supposed duty, it's all a prison. The Bible is a huge prison. Or else ask the Jews what type. They're not going to say what it is, but it's a prison. They're imprisoned, ruled for 600 commandments. Completely imprisoned. Those who left, those who are in prison. Today I awoke singing this song. What is the song? They need liberty. They have already corrupted you. You already forgot. But liberty, the Messiah will show you, will make you free. Because what does the text of the Messiah say? Only once they know the truth will make them free. And the Messiah wants for the whole world to be free. That's why it says, today I woke singing this song that has already been written some time ago. When was it? Since the Bible was written. This is the song that the Messiah needs. This whole entire song talks about the Messiah, the Redeemer. This song is this one. No one knows how to sing it. The Jews have a tune like ass, it's no good. The Christians another one, and every religion another one. They sing whatever. But this song was written some time ago, a long time ago. And it is necessary to sing it once again. And I'll read the whole song now. And the interpretation, you have to learn to do it yourself because it is very deep. The first part. A flower is born every day the sun comes out. Every now and then you hear that voice. As if of bread, delicious to sing in the gardens of the mind. In the eaves of the mind with the cicadas, but at the same time there's a transformer. that consumes the best you have. It pulls you back, asks for more and more. And there comes a point where you don't want to. Suck on freedom. You will always carry her inside your heart. They can corrupt you. You can forget. But she is always there. Yesterday I had a dream with the hungry, the crazy, those who have left, those who are in prison. Today I woke up singing this song that was written a long time ago. And it is necessary to sing it once again. The destiny is written. The end is inevitable. Semper Fi. Let the laurels be eternal, that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live, or we swear with glory to die. Long live the new God of the earth. Whether we win, lose, or tie, aguante Boca. Let's go Boca. Aguante also Charlie Garcia for making this song and many others. And aguante the eternal truth, the new God of the earth. Hallelujah to every one of you. We shall meet again next Shabbat. Hallelujah.